Well, we are back, huh? We're back at the 9 Club, everybody. Let me tell you something. Today, we got a special guest, Mr. Jason Adams.
I had a feeling you were going to say that.
Am I that predictable now?
No, I'm just intuitive.
I had this feeling I should have just changed it up.
Yeah.
I should have just said, hey, everybody, we're back.
This asshole's here.
We got this.
Right.
We got
Best dude ever.
You know what? Let me start over.
Okay.
Hey, everybody. We are back. Welcome.
Welcome to the 9 Club Show.
Welcome to the 9 Club Show, everybody. We got Jason Adams here. How are you?
I'm doing good. You guys gave me beer. I'm good to go.
Dude, I mean, listen, I often joke about this. I say, man, thanks for flying in just for the show. But you literally drove down from San Jose.
I just got here from San Jose.
I mean, you do have a little art show tomorrow. But,
I do.
You know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd like to think that you just came down for this.
I came down for this, and then I lined up the art show last
You
minute.
just... You're like, well, I'm down here. I might as well,
That's how you do it.
Yeah.
I might as well do something eventful while I'm
Hey,
here.
remember you wanted to do that thing? I'll be there tomorrow.
Yeah. No, but seriously,
it works
dude,
around here.
hey, thanks for coming, bro.
Oh,
this is
my
great,
pleasure,
man.
my pleasure.
San Jose. What's
Proud.
going? Proud?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really like it how it is now, but growing up skating in San Jose, like, there was a lot of pride.
I mean, you're still there. That says something.
I am still there.
Yeah.
You know, and it just has so much history, and the skate scene was so strong, like in the 80s, and actually before me, like late 70s, early 80s, through the 90s. It never stopped. I mean, I don't really know how it is now, but we just had a lot of pride. And then there was the whole like Northern California kind of like vibe and all that kind of stuff.
Sure.
And I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. And I've tried to move away a few times, and I always end up back.
Where'd you move to?
I spent a summer in Encinitas
Okay.
in the early 90s. Early 90s.
Oh.
I just had the opportunity. Like, Tim Brosh's sister lived down there, and we went down there to stay, and they had a room open up, and I'm like, why not? I'm like 18, 19 years old,
right.
like no responsibility, just go hang out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I kind of like connected with Laban, was living there, and it was just easy to go skate with Laban and all those dudes.
This is random. Was that dude really juggling all the time?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay, I've seen the
We were
videos.
just
24/7?
We were skating all the time, and actually in that little circle, it was like Jason Maxwell, and I don't remember a lot.
Dennis
Mainly,
Vieira.
I just remember hooking up with Laban.
Okay.
And then there's a couple other dudes that weren't sponsored or anything that I loved hanging out with. One of them was Ray Potes, who's, I don't know if you guys have heard of Hamburger Eyes.
Oh, yeah.
He
was in
started,
SF now, right?
randomly I lived in Encinitas and hooked up with those dudes, and then all of a sudden he's in San Francisco doing Hamburger Eyes. But I didn't last long. I ended up back in San Jose.
Is this like when you were on Think or before?
This is when I was on SMA.
Oh, SMA.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I had an apartment with Jai and Tim Brosh and his girlfriend, and I just kept the apartment in San Jose because I was paying like $130 in rent, you know?
Sure.
Wow.
And
Right.
then my
Probably had a
rent- and my
5-bedroom.
Rent, yeah, and like my rent down there was, and me and Jai shared a room. I was just like, well, I'll just keep it, and I'm going to stay down here. But then fast forward, when I became a dad, and I didn't know if I was going to be able to make skateboarding a living to where I could support a family.
Yeah.
We decided to move to Huntington Beach, and I got a job at Black Label.
Oh, that's right. We're just speeding through your timeline.
Yeah.
We're going to be done in no time.
But I mean, you talked about me where
sure.
I've been living, and then we lived in Huntington Beach
Yeah.
for about a year and a half, almost 2 years maybe, and then I whatever. We lived there for a while.
Huntington Beach didn't do it for you.
The scene in San Jose was jumping
Oh.
this is like 2001.
Okay.
And the whole tilt mode thing and everything like that.
Yeah.
And I was down to go, but I mean, we were skating so much, and I'd just come off like the Label Kills video, and it was just going nuts. Like any day you can go out, and any day you could get a film, or any day you it was just going nuts. And then I went to go work at Black Label, which was cool because John was open, but it wasn't. There was a lot of skaters, and fortunately Salman moved down at the same time, and he was there, and he would babysit for us because we had like a 1-year-old at the time.
How old were you?
It's probably 26.
Okay.
26, 27.
27.
Something
Wow.
like, I don't
What were you doing at label? Sales or?
Technically, I was the Revolution brand manager.
Okay, the wheel company. Yeah.
But really, I just kind of did whatever. John would be like, "Can you, clean up this, or can you put my desk together?" Or,
Just went to
Just like an
IKEA.
intern.
I know I was a lot better at doing that than looking at spreadsheets. I mean, I like doing the creative side of it, and I like doing the team side of it. But when it came to me looking, dude, I'm so dyslexic and all over the place. I just
Short circuit.
and like Sandy was asking me like, how many wheels do we have here? And I'm just like, But honestly, sometimes I felt like John just wanted a sounding board.
Oh, like just
Someone around to go like, they'd be like, look at this tape we got.
What do you
It's
think?
ragdoll.
yeah.
So I felt like I spent more time just kind of like hanging out with John and just talking shop and
that's
taking care of the team guys.
Sure.
And
Getting paid for
and
it.
still skating, And he was always cool. If like the boys were going out, he'd just be like, just go.
Yeah. Right.
So it really wasn't a real job.
You pretty much then quit to go back up to San Jose.
Yeah, because after Label Kills,
Yeah.
things started rolling.
Right.
And I moved down there kind of before. I mean, it was after Label Kills came out, but after I got down there, things started rolling, and it helped being down there because I was in the middle of everything, and Black Label was part of Giant at the time, so it was like anytime they needed anything, it was just like you were right there.
And it's nice to be where your sponsor's at.
Yeah, totally. Totally.
Definitely.
It was like everything. It's like, oh, we're doing this 401 thing. We're doing this. We're doing that.
You're in the
We're
mix.
doing this. We're doing that. So it was really a good idea to do that.
Sure.
But then I started kind of making more money. And I'm like, I just want to go back to San Jose. And I think we can pull buying a house and doing that whole thing.
Right.
And I was like, I'm over it here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was just over it. I wanted to go back to San Jose.
Been there ever since.
We've been there ever since, yeah.
Raised a family and everything.
Yeah.
Still raising a family.
Still raising a family.
It's great, dude. Well, let's talk. We'll get more deep into Black Label.
We kind of went backwards.
Yeah, no, this
Welcome
is
to my world.
for sure.
How I operate.
For sure. Kelly, go get him a mug right now, and then we'll work back. We'll work backwards.
My wife would be laughing right now.
So, it's growing up in San Jose.
Yeah.
I think you knew my intro. I think you know what I'm going to say next. Yeah. How did you even get into skating? You said it was popping back then.
It was popping, but the funny thing is like I listened while I was working yesterday. I listened to the Huff thing that you guys did.
Sure.
And I was listening. And I go, he has like the same story I have.
Oh,
really?
But big difference. He grew up in New York City, and I grew up in San Jose. So
right. Yeah.
That's a little different. Yeah.
it's a little different.
Yeah.
But I thought skateboarding was cool when I was 5 years old.
5 years old.
Yeah, or even before, because when my sister was born, I was 4, and my grandfather came home with a skateboard, and I guess was saying like I wanted a skateboard.
Okay.
But I mean, just like Huff was saying, it's like a toy in your garage. Mm-hmm. Even though I fucked around on it and kneeboarding and doing all this, like flat spotting your fingers and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like making like slalom tracks with the lava rocks that everyone had in their yard in the 80s and all that kind of stuff. So, but I always thought it was cool, and I would see the kids in the neighborhood that had like legit. I remember seeing like Mike McGill's and Caballero boards that the older dudes had, and I was like, "That's so cool." It was like an '80s movie where you like watch the dude go by like slow motion, and he's got his hair, he's like, and he smokes weed, and he's got a comb in his back pocket, like that kind of.
I love that he's visualizing this at 5 years old. Yeah, totally.
JJ Rogers.
I've looked at life as a movie my whole life.
Right.
And I just always thought it was cool, but I had my little, green or orange GT little plastic board. Mm-hmm. And I had that until I was 10.
Okay.
And then I really wanted one of those cool boards. And we'd moved by then. We were in a new neighborhood. And everyone asked me what I wanted for my birthday. And I'm like, I just want money. I want to get a good skateboard.
Okay. You didn't want them to pick it out. You wanted the money.
Well, I just wanted the money, because it was like, Grandma asks you what you want. Your aunt asks you what you want.
Give me the money.
Yeah, get the money, and then I can buy a good skateboard.
Mm-hmm.
And back then, you needed about 100. It's funny, boards haven't gone up,
No.
No?
which blows my mind.
We've talked about it on the show
Yeah.
before.
It's
And
People don't like hear about that.
people hate it. They're like, no.
Don't talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you could get a complete. You don't get to choose everything, but you can get a complete for about $100.
Okay.
But
right.
back then, you needed the tailbone, and you needed the nose guard, and the rails, and the copers, and
The
all that kind of
accessories.
crap. All the accessories.
Right.
So I had barely enough, and I went and got one at Grimmick Skate Shop, and it was so rad because back in the day at Grimmick, when you bought a board, they would take two Polaroids of you, and they'd give you one, and then they would keep one, and they had the whole
That's
like
amazing.
photo book.
Oh,
That's so
like in a
amazing.
You could
binder.
go look,
Oh,
and it was
wow.
all the kids that showed up and bought their complete.
Imagine
That's
seeing that
amazing.
today.
That's awesome.
Who
I'm
you would
s-
probably see in that.
I know. I'm so bummed I lost my Polaroid. Like
But
I
you
had
have
it
a copy.
forever.
Yeah.
Well, someone has a copy.
Oh, the shop's not around anymore.
No, they've been gone for a while.
Okay.
But I only had that board, so I finally got mine. It was a Santa Cruz Santa Cruz Rat. Hold on.
Go ahead.
There
Drink
you
a-
go.
yeah.
That'll
Yeah.
help.
Ramp Street 10-inch is what it was. It was a Santa Cruz Red Dot.
Okay.
And I had it for like a week, and I got stolen.
Did you leave it outside?
No, I was at the mall.
Oh, no.
Because that's
What
where
did you-
everyone hung out. Like, all the punk rockers hung out at the mall in front of the arcade.
Okay.
Hot Topic.
No, well, this is dude. This was 1984.
I don't even think kids
no-
know what an arcade is anymore.
There was
I
no
mean,
Hot Topic, and
Yeah.
back then, kids just like owned things. You could just take over anything, and they just took over the mall.
Right.
But I left it in the bathroom for like 3 minutes, and it was just gone.
Damn.
Yep.
So what'd you do?
I didn't have a skateboard for like 2-3 years.
You went 2 or 3 years without a board.
Yeah,
Were you
'cause
even
I never even really got into it. I
Okay.
still had my like plastic board or whatever to fart around on, but
So you weren't trying to learn tricks. You probably didn't even know what the hell was going on.
I just had it. I finally got my good board that I always wanted. Like,
Yeah.
it was like, oh.
Well, were there other kids there and skating and trying to learn
Not really.
tricks? No, you just
no. I
okay.
just wanted it.
Yeah.
I was always that kid that like looked up to the older dudes and was like, that's fucking cool.
Yeah.
You know, kind of like
That's Kelly every day.
Yeah.
just like.
Look, that guy smokes weed, man.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
This dude's cool. Like, there was this one dude in my neighborhood. His name was Zyke. They called him Zyke, and he always had the cool BMX bike and never wore a shirt. Always had sunglasses and a comb in his back pocket, and would just do wheelies everywhere. And you knew, you're like, that dude's totally getting laid.
Right. Yeah.
But I was like the weird shy. I wasn't weird, but I was really shy and kind of. But anyways,
Right.
So I didn't really get anything else until I was the summer just before I turned 13. And I was hanging out with these friends, and they all got like, there were 3 boards that were like the coolest thing at the time: a Lucero,
Okay.
a Grosso Schmidt sticks, or a Rob Roscop 3. Those are like the boards in 1985, 86, right around there.
Now, how are you knowing this though? If you're not involved,
Because I just knew.
how?
I don't know.
You buy
Because
bags?
I saw people having in the neighborhood or whatever.
Okay,
and
so
these,
that was the-
and so my friends got the Rob Roscop 3. And then I'm like, fuck, I want a skateboard. I've been wanting a skateboard forever.
Yeah.
And so my mom was having a garage sale, and I just grabbed all this crap out of my room, and I put it in the garage sale.
You sold your shit.
I sold my shit so I can but I didn't get enough money. So I went to Gymco, which I don't know if you guys had them down here. And right now, Target is in place of Gymco. It's kind of like a Target or something.
Gotcha.
And they sold these action sport boards. And they were, kind of cheap, but they had good urethane wheels. They had closed bearings. They had concave. Looking back, I'm like, they weren't that bad, really. And actually later when I got into skateboarding, Action Sports would advertise in the magazine, but you knew they were totally lame.
Sure,
They were
yeah.
totally lame. But I just saw there was one, they like copied Christian Asoy's board, the comment, or because first it was Christian Asoy Sim's board, then he left to do something else. Then they turned it into the Kamikaze,
Yeah.
and then they copied the Kamikaze. So I was like, it kind of looks cool.
So you bought a bootleg.
I bought a bootleg,
kind of
yeah, just
Kamikaze.
because I had like $60 to work with.
You don't want to try to mow lawns or do newspaper
I just
route?
bought it. I don't have my patience, obviously. Once again, ask my wife. And I just got that, and it was like, you could tell they just copied tracker trucks,
okay.
and copied kryptonic wheels, and and the bearings were actually really good, and then from there I just Frankensteined a board.
Oh yeah,
I'd buy shit from people at school or whatever because I knew that wasn't cool enough. So,
but at least you had something.
But I was into it. Like that was it. Like once I got the Kamikaze, it was like it's on.
Right.
It's on.
Were your friends just like doing tricks at that time? Or you guys all
No,
just
they were
cruising?
total fucking posers. Like totally fucking like the lamest. Because okay,
what were you?
I was like on a mission to get the fuck away from these people. Like I met this dude Branch, who's still to this day one of my best friends.
Oh,
I
cool.
met him when I was 12 years old.
Wow.
He wasn't a skater; he was a BMXer. And I kind of, was into BMX a little bit before skating. And then once I got that skateboard, I was just like, dude, these dudes I'm hanging out with fucking are lame.
Yeah.
They're lame. And I'm like, I just want to skate. And Branch, like at the time, he was into that one magazine. Like he had a bunch of magazines. And one of them, I don't know, there were some ones that like kind of had skateboarding, BMX, and everything. So like that was I got to see that. And I remember the first skate photo I saw was like Christian Asoy doing a method air off a jump ramp. That's a lie, but during that time, it was the first like the first one I saw. I was like, fucking Christian Asoy is so cool.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Then I just started hanging out with Branch, and he was already hanging out with the skaters.
Okay.
At the local spot that was just skateboard mania. So I just started hanging out with him, and then he introduced me to this dude Brad that ended up being my friend, and then we just kind of integrated ourselves into the local scene.
Oh,
and,
wow.
But once I got the Kamikaze, even though I knew it wasn't cool, I was like, I just think probably all of us can say this. 12, 13, you're just looking for identity.
Sure.
You're like, who am I?
Yeah.
And you're like jumping all over the place. You're
Right.
like, oh, I play soccer. And
Little league.
I do this, and I hang out with these dudes, and we play football on the street, and we fuck off and break things and do stupid shit and whatever. But
That's funny. I never thought about that, but that's the most, 12 and 13, like the
12, 13,
ages
it's
that
like
people start
getting where you fit
skating.
in.
you're kind of like,
it's crazy.
I know exactly who
junior
I was.
junior high fucking sucks. And you're just kind of like, where do I fit in, and what am I doing, and why am I here, and how do I and then you fall
find
into
it.
something. You fall into something.
Yeah.
You're like, not only do I love doing this, but I have a fucking identity now, and now I go to school and I'm proud, even though people give me shit.
Right. I am a skater.
I'm a fucking skateboarder. I'm a skateboarder, and I don't care if they give me shit because I'm fucking cool.
Yeah.
It gives you that thing that
Yeah.
goes like, yeah,
For sure.
I'm cool.
Yeah.
even though they don't think I'm cool, I do.
That's all that matters.
That's all
that matters.
Yeah,
That's right.
So that's how that all happened. It's like once skateboarding came in, even though I always loved it, like I was gonna say like when I was lying, I remember like
Now I don't know if it's truthful or lie.
no, because when there was two things that happened. When I was 4, and this is probably why I wanted that skateboard my grandfather bought me, to make me feel, because my sister was born, and make me feel like I'm not being neglected. You know, that whole thing? Yeah. I saw this thing on TV. This was 1977. And there was somebody like hippie jumping a yellow Volkswagen Beetle. And I was like, fuck, that's so cool.
How do you remember when you're 4 years old?
I started remembering when I was around 4.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But there's only certain things.
It's like snapshots.
It's like snapshots. It's
Yeah.
certain little things.
Okay.
And then I remember when I was going into kindergarten, you know, my mom's like, oh, we'll go buy you a folder for kindergarten to bring your home, you know, like whatever.
Peachy.
Yeah. And I went to the Gold Circle, which is kind of like another Target. And we're looking around, and then there was one, and I can't say that it was, but I think it was Stacy Peralta. And there was a pipe in the background and like doing like a frontside carve, and I'm like, I want that one. So even though I really like, I was just farting around on plastic boards and stuff.
You kind of always
from
knew.
I always was like, oh, that's cool.
Right.
Something about that.
Yeah.
And then finally you found your identity at 14, 13, 14.
Just before I turned 13.
Okay. Like, what was your first sponsor? Did you have a shop sponsor up there?
Yeah, Winchester was Simon Woodstock's
Parents' house.
shop.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, it was kind of like a family thing. Yeah, they kind of opened it for Simon.
Okay. And how did you even get on that shop? Was it just homies or was it sponsors? I mean, were you filming back then? What was going on?
No. I mean, we're talking, this is 1980. 88?
I know, but they had to have the dad cam with the big old fucking
They did, but
VHS tape.
But it was still a little before that. So one of the luckiest things in my life, I grew up a mile away from Salman Agah.
Oh.
And he was part of, like, when I was younger, even though he's only a year older than me, like when I got into that Alpha Beta scene, he was like hot and heavy in that Alpha Beta scene. And I kind of got in with them. Okay. Which I have a funny story about that, but a couple, like 40. But, I could sit here all night.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah.
That's what you're there for.
So worked my way up the ladder in that scene because, this is the 80s. It was like a fucking 80s teenage movie. It's like you show up and they kind of look at you. Like, what do you got, kid? Like
you got
like that kind of shit.
Yeah.
And then you kind of hang out and you kind of are shy and you kind of just linger around and, kind of try to get your licks in there. Mm-hmm. And I don't understand how people got away with this shit back then. Like imagine going to like Whole Foods right now or Safeway or whatever is Ralph's or whatever's down here and just being like, we're bringing a jump ramp here. And the fuck chicks are coming, and we're gonna blare music. We're gonna have a rail slide bar, and we're taking over this section of the parking lot. We're taking over.
Yeah.
Impossible nowadays.
Absolutely impossible. That's how it was.
Right.
Almost every day.
Was it the Safeway?
It was at Alpha Beta.
Alpha Beta.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what okay, I thought you were talking about some fraternity.
I was going to say, a grocery
ended
store.
up being kind of like that.
So Salman Agah, I mean, this is 86, 87-ish?
So, those years are so hard because 1 year feels like 10 now.
Yeah, of course.
So 86. By 87, I'd already kind of worked my way into the crew a little bit.
Okay.
And like, just for instance, like the leader of the crew was this dude named Tom Miller. And he had a half pipe and he had a jump ramp and he lived right around the corner from my house. But they ran that shit like it was tight.
You couldn't get in.
You couldn't just go over there.
Right.
So it started with
Like going to barracks.
To call first.
It started like we'd be skating off a beta and if you couldn't do a slappy and if you weren't riding indies, you were a fucking kook.
Right.
Kind of thing.
You're not getting
It's like,
invited over.
you have to learn this first and then you better be riding indies kind of mentality.
Mm-hmm.
But I was also fortunate during that alpha beta time, being like a 14-year-old kid and Caballero shows up.
Wow.
Or a lot of dudes like Mike Persenko was one of lived. I don't know if you guys know about him. He was a vert.
I've heard his name.
Yeah, he was. He wrote for Santa Cruz back in the day. He lived 2 blocks from me, so I mean, I saw all kinds of crazy shit all the time.
Wow.
And Mike Yosfer. The list can go on. I'm not gonna It's just fortunate to live in San Jose with that crew of people because they're good skaters.
Yeah.
Small area too. I mean, seems like
San Jose is massive.
It's
but
huge.
It just happened to be in this neighborhood due to the fact that Persenko lived in the neighborhood, and Tom Miller and
the dude with the half pipe.
the dude with the half pipe. So one day, I got me and my friends got invited to go skate the jump ramp. Right.
Oh, big day.
Really big day.
What are you gonna wear?
It gets bigger.
Okay.
So we would do that. We were allowed to do that, but then then Tom would be like, "We're skating the half pipe," and then we had to just bow our heads and go home.
You couldn't even watch.
You couldn't. No.
No.
You couldn't even go.
Wow.
It was definitely but dude, this is the 80s. And it's like a pecking order, which I loved. And it's what's missing now.
Yeah,
you know what I
true.
mean. Like
Right.
you would go to the other half pipes, and if your feet were too close to the coping, you just slap a rock on your feet like a kook. Like there was an etiquette, and there was like a rules, and you had to learn it, or you got vibed the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
It was like harsh in San Jose, like really harsh. And I grew to love every minute of the abuse.
Yeah.
So one day we got invited to skate the jump ramp. It was me and my two friends. I believe it was Brad, Charlie, and probably Branch was there with his bike. And I'm skating, and Tom used to take pictures, and he's like taking pictures of me and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, that's weird. And then he decides it's time to skate the half pipe. And he goes, we're skating the half pipe. Jason, you're skating.
Oh, wow.
And it was like one of those once again, I'm going to
You graduated.
came at
Yeah.
80s movie, and I just looked at my friends like,
Sorry, guys.
sorry. It's like, sorry.
Yeah.
But even though I got invited, I didn't even know how to do their whole snaking.
I was going to
and,
say,
like,
I mean, are you dropping in on this half pipe? Are you, do
yeah,
you know,
but
like,
I didn't even know, like, I didn't really, I wasn't good enough at the time
You
to
haven't-
get into those sessions, because those sessions back in the day were gnarly. It was like 5 people drop in at the same time.
yeah.
Shit.
You know,
Yeah.
and they're good. They're way better than me, but I was just stoked to like standing on the deck. So
It's a good feeling.
Yeah. So I met Solomon through that, and then we would skate a lot together. And
Okay.
and as the crew got older, they started getting more into kind of like partying, cars, girls, all
sure,
that kind of
sure,
stuff.
yeah.
So me and Solomon we just kind of started hanging out more and more,
Oh, yeah.
because we just wanted to skate. Mm-hmm. And then all the dudes in the crew turned on him
Why?
because he was like motivated. Like already in his mind, he was like, this is what I'm going to do.
Okay.
This is going to, I don't care.
Did he have a cast on already, or is
No,
this
this is
before?
well before. We're talking 1987, 88 now.
Mm-hmm.
And one time, it put me in the worst position. So at one point they started calling him Xerox, and I'm sorry, Solomon, but you don't. I know you don't give a fuck about anything. So you're not gonna be hurt by this.
Okay.
They started calling him Xerox because he just wanted to learn everything. So people are learning tricks. Like he was always like, I'm gonna learn it, and I never took it as like he was trying to show anyone up. He was like, early on at 15 years old, he was like, I'm going to be the best.
Wow.
And you could see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And those dudes, being stupid teenagers, were like all like offended by it. Like, Xerox.
They probably felt threatened too.
They felt threatened.
Yeah.
And they were like, he was getting really good, really fast. And he was super motivated, and I loved skating with him. And one time, because I don't know how you guys grew up, but people used to throw skate jams all the time.
Yeah.
And so being the fucking assholes that they were, they threw a jam called the Don't Tell Solomon Jam.
Oh shit.
What?
That's how lame they were.
Wow.
Even though I'm still friends with Tom and his brother Mike, even though I haven't talked to him forever, but I don't know where everyone else is. And they're like, here, don't tell him. And I'm like,
And it's your buddy.
so it's my buddy who I'm really starting to skate with, but these are the dudes that like older dudes that took me under their wing.
Did you go to the skate jam?
I went to the skate jam.
Did you tell Solomon?
And even worse, this is when I really learned about friendship, like really did, and learned about right and wrong. I mean, I knew it before. He came over because Solomon would just show up at my house in the morning.
Okay.
Like we wouldn't call or anything, just be like, let's go skate. He showed up at my house
The morning of.
the morning of. And I was just like, oh, I can't go.
Trying to make up some excuse.
Total
Wow.
dick maneuver.
Okay.
Total dick maneuver.
Did he find out?
He totally found out. And this is the best part of the story. So he takes the bus to Grimmick solo to go try to find people to skate with, because he would just meet up at the skate shop,
You just knew where people were.
'cause
Yeah.
There's no cell phones.
Yeah.
Just had to like, kind of find it out. And he saw the flyer. And he got on the bus and he went to the jam and he fucking ripped.
I bet.
He fucking murdered it. And Ray Barbie was there at the same time.
Ooh.
He's from San Jose
Yeah.
too.
Sick.
I got to see the most insane shit.
Wait, on the flyer it says don't
It
tell.
said, "Don't tell Solomon Jam."
I hope someone out there has that.
I know,
Once-
seriously,
once
somebody
again,
has to have
Solomon, I'm sorry, but from that point on, it was me and Solomon.
Now, did you
I felt really,
talk
really
to him
bad.
about it afterwards?
He
Did
never
you
even brought it
never
up.
brought it up?
Never
You
brought
just
up.
it was just another
He
day.
just showed up and he didn't have to say anything.
He
just
killed
showed,
it.
He just killed it.
What did the other
They
guy
had to-
say?
I don't even remember.
What are you doing here?
Yeah, I mean,
told you.
They had to have known he was probably going to show up. I mean, this
maybe,
is
maybe. I don't know. I was just a stupid kid.
yeah,
I didn't know.
Sure,
And
but you learned a lesson.
I learned a lesson, and I realized I'm like, these guys are retards. Sorry, Tom, if you even listen to this. But I want to hang out with Solomon.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was like I can't even express what a gift it was to be able to be friends with Solomon because he was extremely mature for his age. He had a car.
That's big back then.
Bonus.
But we were really good friends, and he just knew what was going on, and I was clueless.
Okay.
So he was like, "We have to go skate the warehouse downtown." And I'm like, "Okay."
Now, were you even thinking about sponsorship or anything at this
No.
point? He probably had his eye on the prize.
He had his eye on the prize, and
Sure.
of course I was thinking that because then he got on Winchester. I'm like, "Oh, that would be cool."
Right. The skate
And
shop.
then I got on Winchester, and then he was really and then he started getting flowed stuff from different people, like Circle A for a little bit, or he was getting stuff from Blockhead a little bit, but it might have been through pros or stuff like that. So it was all starting to churn at that point. Like, whoa,
This is something.
this is something. And he started skating with Cab.
Oh, okay.
And then it started, that's when everything started to kind of change. Like, oh, this maybe. But I still was kind of like, I don't know, maybe I'll just move to Tahoe when I graduate high school and work at the snowboard lift and I don't know,
Wear sunglasses and do a wheelie on a BMX
totally,
bike.
I don't know.
Yeah.
With a comb in your back pocket.
But Solomon was he's like, no, we got to go here. We have to go to here. We have to go here. There's a contest here. We're going here.
So you were kind of
doing
following his lead.
this. It was Batman and Robin, and I was fucking Robin.
Right. Yeah.
Totally.
You may not even been where you're at if it wasn't for Salman.
Oh, there's
I don't know. I'm just,
No,
I mean,
there's
you,
a huge chance. Huge
Yeah?
chance.
okay.
I mean, I don't know.
Right.
Because I don't know anything else.
But it seems like he led you into this world
Totally.
of sponsorships and pro
Absolutely.
and all that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, how did even Think come into the picture? Think was your first
Okay, so
sponsor, right?
It was Venture,
Oh, Venture. What but board brand?
Santa Cruz. I was on Santa Cruz for a little.
Oh, you were Santa
tiny
Cruz.
little, just a tiny little bit.
Okay.
But what happened was because of me being Robin, and skating with Solomon, and he was gung ho, dead set. I'm gonna murder skateboarding. That's how he. He was
That's why he has
gnarly.
Sody.
He was almost.
Yeah.
He was like this. And it just put me in the position. And then I met Greg Carroll.
Yeah. Okay.
And he's part 2 of the story. And for some reason, Greg Carroll just liked me for whatever reason, and it was right around the time where he got the team manager job on Venture.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, by then we had a little crew because, everyone has their neighborhood little scenes. And then as everyone got older and people started getting more focused, from all over San Jose, we started doing this. So then it turned into I'd already known Sean Mendoli.
Okay.
And it was we used to call ourselves SJS, SJ Skateboarders, Sean, Jason, Solomon. But then we started meeting people. So then it was Edward De Vera, which he would always take the bus out.
Okay.
And because he lived on the east side. And then Spencer Fujimoto lived in Almaden. And so it kind of started coming like this to the people that were really serious about it.
Well, because you even shared a part with Spencer Fujimoto, an early video, sellouts or some shit.
Maybe, I don't even
Yeah.
remember that. But yeah, so then it turned into this more core, we're going to contests together. You know what I mean? You kind of weed away and everyone gets kind of focused.
Yeah.
Did you guys go to San Francisco at all at that point yet, or is it just?
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think the first time I went there, I can't remember if it was with Solomon or if it was with Greg Carroll. Because once I met Greg, it was like I was going to San Francisco every other weekend.
Okay.
And I would stay at the Carroll brothers' house, and fortunately, I was instantly like welcomed into EMB, and I didn't have to deal with any of that kind of crap.
Well, you had an in already. You had the Carrolls.
I showed up with the Carroll brothers.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Like
what more do you want?
Yeah, and at that point, I think I might have just got on Think.
What did you say, Santa Cruz though? How did even that?
So Solomon by that point was on Powell.
Yeah.
And then I started getting flowed boards by Powell.
Okay.
Through Solomon's boxes. It was like one of those deals. Like Solomon gets a package, I get a board and a set of wheels.
Here you go, Robin.
Kind of thing. Yeah. Here you go, Robin. and then Gavin O'Brien, who was the team manager of Santa Cruz, approached Solomon, because at that point Solomon was really making there was a buzz.
He was killing it,
and he was riding for Powell and
Switch God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
the original.
It was before the Switch thing really happened. It was just before all that.
Okay.
Because remember, 1 year equals 10 years.
That's true. That's true.
So Gavin O'Brien was team manager for Santa Cruz, and he hit up Solomon and at that point, it's like 1990.
Okay. Yep.
Everyone's like, we need young street kids. We need young street kids. It doesn't even matter. We need young street kids. It was just like this mad dash, because Santa Cruz has a bunch of vert pros and everyone has, and Solomon was like, oh, my buddy Jason. And Gavin's like, okay.
Oh,
It was just like, it wasn't even like.
No sponsor me tape, no
nothing.
tryouts,
no. Nothing. And he was like, it's cool. Tell him to call me.
Solomon's co-signing.
Yeah. Tell him to call me.
So you called them.
And I called them, and I started getting boards from them.
Okay.
But I only got a few packages, and then I was already on Venture.
Yep.
Which I remember talking to Gavin. He was like, "You need trucks?" I'm like, "No, right for Venture." He was like, But at the time, Venture was really fucking cool.
Sure.
Yeah.
Jason Lee, Mark Gonzalez, Mike V, the list could go on and on.
Great
Don't forget
team.
Rocco.
Yep. And then so when they started Think, Greg called me and goes, we're starting this company. We want you to be on it. And I was like, okay.
So you went from Flow, Santa Cruz to the team.
I was kind of on the team, but it would be like, call Gavin and I'd be like, hey, this is Jason. And they had like 9 Jasons on the team. I'm exaggerating.
Sure.
I'm exaggerating. There was Jason Jesse, Jason Rothmeyer, Jason blah, 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 Jason so-and-so. You know what I mean?
Right. And you're like, Robin.
How about this? I'm Robin.
So you felt more like Think would go further for you.
Because being on Santa Cruz, I was like, there's a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I'm like a senior in high school at the time. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I'm like thinking like something could happen. Like the wheels are turning at this point.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, this could be possible. And then I loved Greg, and I loved hanging out with those dudes, and I was already at Venture, and at the time, Think was literally the same thing as Dogtown.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Dogtown's fucking cool too. I kind of thought like a lot of my favorite skaters, like Wade, Cardiel, JJ Rogers, Schroeder, like just
Karma.
The funny thing is, Karma. Sorry, Karma.
Yeah.
And I was like, I kind of would rather ride for Dogtown. But I didn't. I just went with the thing.
Well, plus you were hanging out with Greg. I mean, you already had an
exactly,
adventure.
and they put on Mandoli. Who I skated with all the time, and by that time I'd been hanging out at EMB, and then it was Nick Lockman and Carl Watson and Sam Smythe, and
I think Carl Watson actually came up with the name Think.
he probably did. It was one of the kids.
Dentist stickers.
Huh?
Pretty sure.
Yeah,
Sticker guy from the dentist.
Yeah, from a dentist. Who was telling? Somebody was telling that
Sam.
story.
That
Sam
sounds
Smythe.
about right.
Yeah,
that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I went with that, and I don't know. That's the Think story.
And then, so Think lasted a few years.
10 years.
10 years.
10 years when you're 18 years old.
I was going to say.
One year.
I was going to say, I think my numbers are a little off, but.
It was, I was probably on for about a year, and then they turned me pro for
about a year.
for no reason. And I lasted I had one. I'm going to pretend like I had one board.
Well, why'd they turn you pro though?
Because everyone was desperate to have young street skaters.
And
I was not even ready.
You didn't.
No. I had one photo in a magazine that was like tiny.
Okay.
And I think I had a quarter page Think ad.
And that's it.
That's it.
Instant Pro.
It's Insta Pro.
I had no idea what it even meant. Just like,
No, but you knew.
okay.
I mean, they're making your board.
I knew,
It's like
I knew,
this
but
is
I
big.
really didn't. Like, I'm like, okay.
You're uncomfortable.
I was feeling a little like undeserving
Okay.
and a little uncomfortable, but at the same time, I'm like, well,
That Huffkey's got a board.
It gives it's an excuse that I can not have to go to college or get a job. Like I was kind of looking at it like that. I can keep partying and like chasing girls. Like,
Well, because now you're gonna get a
rad, you know, like
now you're gonna get a paycheck too.
yeah, and it got my parents off my back because I was still living with my parents.
There you go. That's a good. Yeah.
Like literally, like I remember Tobin calling me up, going like, "Hey, I'm coming down to shoot photos," and I'm like, okay, and hanging up the phone, going, what do I even do? You know, because it wasn't like it is now.
Yeah.
And I actually am very appreciative that I barely caught the end of the non-video age,
Okay.
where every time you go out, you're supposed to try to film. And take photos. You
Yeah.
know, we were still just going out every day.
Yeah.
So like when Tobin came to shoot photos, I just went like, well, I skated here yesterday, and I'll just do what I did yesterday.
Yeah.
And then he goes, okay, you got anywhere else? I'm like, okay, well, we usually skate this spot on the weekends, and we can go there. You know, like,
Yeah.
I'll do what I usually do.
Yep.
It wasn't like I have this list and I'm going to try 5 million times and hopefully we get it. It's like,
Sure.
I'll just do whatever.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool to be able to catch that tail end of before the crazy video age.
Right.
You know, and it was just like, and that day I didn't even know what I was doing. I ended up getting 3 photos in the magazine. You know,
Wow.
Like over time, like not in one magazine, but they all like 3 photos came out.
That's good.
So I was like,
Tobin did shoot him though.
Tobin did shoot him.
Yeah.
Were they bigger than a little?
They were bigger.
Okay.
Yeah, they were bigger.
Good.
What about contests and stuff? Were you doing a lot of those?
I would do all the contests.
Yeah.
And I would do pretty well. I mean, it never was like a winner or anything. I'd usually make the cut and whatever, but I didn't really care.
Yeah.
Like I kind of took on the San Jose mentality of like, I was into punk and I just wanted to fuck off and party,
Okay.
you know,
Yeah.
and I didn't, because I turned pro and all my heroes were getting axed.
Yeah.
Right? Like all these people that were like huge to me, like, and they're just getting ousted. So to me, it was like, I got like 3 years,
Yeah.
maybe 2,
Sure.
2-3 years. So I might as well just have some fun, you know what I mean? And take advantage of it. And it wasn't really like anything serious because at that time, skateboarding was nothing. It was zero.
Yeah.
And so there was no money in it. There's not a lot of opportunity. So I was just like, fuck it, I'm just going to party, go to punk shows.
Just have a good time.
Once again, chase girls and like...
Yeah.
But then what happened with that? I mean, after like a year, you went to SMA.
ended up going to SMA.
How was it even telling Greg that?
That was really hard.
I could imagine.
Very hard. And
Because Think was still going on. They had their thing going.
Yeah, but you know
so-
what? Like I was getting more, like I was just saying, I was getting more and more into like, I was like really getting into punk. You know, I had like purple hair and like, I'd go to shows all the time. Like I was super into it. And they were getting into like raving and shit.
Oh.
I remember going to Grimmick and there was a rave flyer and Think was a sponsor.
Okay.
And they would send me like shirts, like neon, like yellow ass shirts, and I was just kind of like,
Yellow
it just wasn't like it was like these bright ass. I was like, dude, I can't even like do this. You know, but you know, I wanted a black shirt. They made black shirts, but it was mainly the rave thing.
Yeah.
And the fact that, you know, I didn't have a guarantee or anything like that. And I'd grown up, my favorite company was Santa Cruz and SMA.
Okay.
And I lived in San Jose. It's right over the hill. It's like it's all you ever saw, you know. And it was around the time when everyone left SMA to start Consolidated.
Yeah. Mhm.
So they were just left like teamless.
Mm-hmm.
And then Russ Pope took over the team, and I don't even want to bring him up, but this filmer in San Jose was working with NHS, and he's like, "Oh, you should I'll talk to Russ for you," and it just kind of just went. Okay, you know how I got on SMA?
Oh, how?
Because in the 90s, I had pegged jeans.
Pegged jeans.
Yeah, like you know how punkers like to
Yeah.
Yeah.
make their jeans all pegged.
They saw that and they were like, "You're on."
Russ Pope saw me at a contest, and I had pegged jeans, and he was just like, and everyone else had like blind jeans. And
Sure.
shit.
Frayed on the bottom.
Yeah. And which I had a little stint with that as well. And then after that, I was just like, no, I'm just going full punk rock.
Yeah.
And he was just like, oh yeah, I saw him at this contest. He had pegged jeans. It's fucking cool. And I got on this.
Well, you said everybody went to go to Consolidated, but
also,
who was left?
Nobody.
How was that even?
I think Ron Whaley
Okay.
and Israel were writing for Sims because NHS was still doing Sims.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember how Tim Brosh got on. He might have just gotten on Sims, and then this I don't know. He transferred from New Deal to SMA somehow. I don't remember the details.
Okay.
And then I was the final one, and then Frank Carrata already wrote for Sims, and so they just put Frank Carrata on.
They pulled everybody
Yeah,
from.
Whaley, and I think they already are planning on getting rid of Sims.
Now, did you already know this? Because here you are on Think.
I know,
with,
no clue.
but you're on Think. You've got this. You got a team. Everything's good, and now you're going into this unknown. Everybody
Well, I mean-
left. Didn't you feel like what am I doing? Like this
They
is.
weren't sponsoring raves.
I grew up on NHS.
Okay.
And it wasn't a brand new company. It was an established company.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to do stuff. I wanted to like
Travel.
make videos. I wanted to travel. I wanted to, even though we did a Think video, but I wanted, once I had a taste, I'm like, I want it all.
Yeah.
And right now, Think isn't in the position to do it all. And they're like rave mania. And I was like, raving's the lamest thing ever. Like at the time, I was just like, that's just,
No. Yeah.
it wasn't my thing.
So
And then-
SMA.
SMA.
There you go.
And it was great because that really, I mean, I'd known Tim over the years because, I mean, we're both from San Jose. But once I got on SMA, it was like, then Solomon was already off, like traveling all the time with Reel and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So then me and Tim just like clicked.
Oh
And
yeah.
it was just like constant, nonstop, just every day. It was me and Tim all day long, every day.
What was that board you guys had? The Dynamic Duo or something like
Yeah, yeah, Wonder Twins.
that? Wonder Twins. That's
Yeah.
what it
Wonder
was.
Twins.
And then we ended up living together, and it was just like every day. Just wake up, go get Big Brews at 7-Eleven and donuts. Go home.
Donuts and Big Brews.
Yeah, donuts and Big Brews. Skate all day. And get drunk every night, and then I try to wrestle Tim, and he's all muscle, and he just throws me around the kitchen, and then we pass out at some point.
Do it again the next day.
And get up and do it again the next day.
I mean, so SMA. I mean, you guys film a couple videos. Everything's
Yeah.
going good. I mean, it seems like a great time. But then,
Well, my connection with SMA, other than with Tim and Ron, and I got along with everybody. I loved all those dudes. But really, my connection was Russ Pope.
okay,
And he was the team manager or brand manager for SMA. And he decided he wanted to do something different at NHS.
oh,
And that's when he wanted to do Creature.
yeah,
So he hit me up. He goes, I want to do this thing, and I want you to come with me. And he was my connection there. Like, we just hit it off. Like, me and Russ just hit it off.
okay,
And so I was like, yeah.
yeah. And
And
it's
it's not even really like I'm leaving
It's
anything.
under the same roof.
It's under the same
It's
roof,
under
yeah.
the same
yeah,
roof.
yeah.
So then we do Creature for a while with Barker, which was awesome.
Yep.
I got to know Barker, who's one of
Incredible.
my favorite people on the planet. And then we did that for a while. Then Russ had run-ins with people in NHS
Okay.
due to whatever agreement they had. I don't know. I was a kid just getting hammered all the
Right,
time.
right,
I don't fucking
right.
know.
Wrestling.
Yeah, I don't know. By that time, though, like, I had, like, kind of, like, Tim had a girlfriend, and I didn't, and I just kind of like, I met the older dudes, and we moved downtown San Jose, and I met like Corey O'Brien and his buddy Reeps, who was the total ruined my life in the best way. But and I wasn't even 21 yet, but those dudes were so in with all the bars and clubs in San Jose, they could just be like, the kid's getting in, you know, like.
Is that how the nickname came?
Pretty much.
Oh, the kid.
Yeah. Corey O'Brien.
He coined it.
Oh. And they would just sneak me in everywhere, and we just fucking rage. And it kind of.
Much older were they?
Fuck, they seemed like they were 50 years older than me, but they were probably.
A couple years.
If I was 20 at that time, they were probably 25, 20.
That's still a big age difference.
Maybe a little more. Maybe, yeah, because I think they're 50, 51 now, so.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah. I mean, even back then, yeah.
But that was a big gap for
Sure.
me. And it was these dudes that I'm like, I used to watch you guys in videos.
Right.
You know, next thing now, and I used to hear. I wanted to be a pro skater more about the stories I heard after skating rather than. Because I'm like, those dudes just get hot punk chicks and they just fucking rage. And that sounds so cool, you know?
Right.
And then all of a sudden I moved downtown and Reeps shows up with Jeff Kendall one day because Jeff Kendall was just starting to be the team manager for Santa Cruz. And Reeps is like, I heard these kids, you know, I don't know. Like, it came to our house and we had like Johnny Rotten from the Sex Pistols on our door. And then Reeps is like, I need to hang out with these kids.
Right.
They're keeping it alive. Like they're keeping, you know, they're doing it. And he did.
Wow.
And then he just did this, and then I don't remember, like 5 years of my
5 years. 5 years later, you're still the kid.
Yeah.
You ever introduce yourself as the kid? Do you ever say
No.
No.
It's a good name though.
It's great. Yeah.
I mean, I respond to it instantly.
Yeah.
The dog, like,
What? Ears perk up. Huh?
I mean, my best friend calls me the kid.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, Jai calls me the kid. Kid.
Yeah.
Reeps, everyone calls me. Everyone does, except my wife.
Oh, yeah. That'd be a little
or
weird.
my kids.
Yeah.
Your
Kids
actual
calling
kid.
the dad.
Even though I thought
dad.
it would be cool, like, but occasionally Reeps will call me the dad.
The dad.
and then when I started getting older, he started calling me the young adult.
Pretty soon you'll be the grandfather.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it happens, you know.
It does, but hopefully later than sooner.
There you go.
So, but then I kind of like started going off on this like party mania. Mission,
yeah.
And Tim was still fully like we were still skating together and everything, but I was like party mode.
You guys
Was
were
that
on-
like Beautiful Man Club time?
That
or-
was a little later. It came later. I mean, Tim partied too, but Tim could handle it. I would just be like, I'm dying, and he'd be up at like 8, like, no, let's go skate, and he'd just rip all day, and just like sweating and
Just need another beer.
Yeah. Shit. Creature only lasted a year for you, though, right? You
Yeah,
went to Scarecrow.
So then Russ, in all Russ mode, just out of like, I had no chance. Like I went to NHS one day and he just was like, we need to go to lunch. He goes, I'm quitting today. I'm starting a new company. Will you want to go with me? And I'm like,
Just like that.
just like that. I was like, yeah.
You even ask him the name?
I mean, he already had it, Scarecrow.
Okay.
And I probably would have done it anyways, but at that time, like I was kind of talking about how I was starting to get party mania.
Sure.
And Jeff Kendall lived in San Jose at the time, and he would go out probably every weekend. And I was part of that whole older skater crew. Now I was the kid in this older skater crew. So he would see me out all the time, and Russ told me he would come into work and be like, I seen your boy out again, you know, like he was out raging with JJ and Todd, and he would be like, you know, that never goes well, and but Russ never cared.
Oh no.
So then, I mean, I would have gone anyways probably, but I was like, well, Russ doesn't care what I do. If I stay here, Kendall cares what I do.
Oh yeah.
You know, like because they had already been on Ron about stuff, and which is nothing. It was over nothing, just being controlling.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, I'll go with Russ. I loved Russ. Like Russ was like one of my best friends at the time. So I was
right.
like, I'll go with you. Sure. Sounds good.
Wow.
Cool. You could pay me the same. Awesome. Let's do it.
Perfect.
Just like that.
Now, was he doing Scarecrow just out of, did he have a...
He moved to he's from San Luis Obispo. He up and moved, and because his then girlfriend, now wife, was pregnant.
Oh, wow.
And they were both from San Luis Obispo, and he wanted to do something different, and I think she wanted to be close to her mom.
Gotcha.
And she had just graduated high school. She was going to UC Santa Cruz. So they moved to San Luis, and he just did it out of this old house. It was like a house that was converted into a construction company. Okay. And it was rad. And they called it the haunted house, and then they had a ramp and everything. It was like super cool.
Yeah.
While it lasted.
Sure.
And Ben Horton did all the graphics and all the sales.
Talented dude.
He's insane.
Wow.
Ben Horton is insane. I'd watch him do sales all day and then stay after work and do like 4 board graphics at night and cut all the rubies. Because back then you had to cut the rubies.
Yeah.
Cut the rubies.
Yeah,
It's
for
like
the screening.
It's like a red.
Each layer you would cut it with this red like acetate.
Oh, you know what? I think...
You peel it off.
Yeah, I think we... who was telling us about that?
Oh, Mark McKee.
Oh, yeah, Mark
Yeah.
McKee. Yeah.
So
yeah.
he'd have to draw it. You draw the black line, and then you'd go through and cut the rubies that all the shading or the other colors would be. And he was just like...
What a process.
And he was married, and he had a kid. He was probably 21 years old.
Doesn't Russ Pope draw stuff too?
He does transportation unit.
Yeah, but like
He works at
back then.
Converse.
Back then, he really didn't. I think he did 1 board.
Oh.
But he wasn't where he's at now.
Oh, okay.
Ben just nailed it. Boom, 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 boom.
Crazy.
Like, no
Some people just
problem.
have it like that.
Yeah.
They're just talented.
He's great at fine art, but he also is good at graphic art. And it's kind of 2 different worlds, but he can do anything.
I trip on people like that.
I know,
Yeah.
me too.
Ask me to draw something. Stick figure.
You trace it.
Oh, tracing. Yeah, tracing paper.
yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. So, SMA,
Creature.
Scarecrow.
Scarecrow. What happened with Scarecrow?
Okay, I guess there was a he had a company doing the books for him,
Oh,
and they fucked up.
wow.
And all of a sudden one day they're like, "Oh, you owe whatever the money."
To the government or IRS
No,
or some shit.
it was to the, and at the time Jim Gray was making the boards.
Yeah, okay.
And so he owed whatever amount. I don't know. I was a kid then. I didn't ask questions.
Right.
But it was enough to kind of scare Russ, I guess.
Okay.
Sorry, Russ. I'm not trying to I could just tell he just kind of worked out a deal, and Jim Gray took over the company.
Oh, gotcha.
And it kind of took away. I like Jim Gray.
Yeah.
He's a cool dude. Nothing against him.
Mm-hmm.
But it took away what I liked about Scarecrow.
Okay.
There was no more haunted house.
Mm.
There was no more. Everything that was cool about it was gone.
Yeah.
In my mind.
Mm.
And then somehow Simon Woodstock convinced me to go ride for Sonic, which was a totally bad idea. And I
They
love
make
the
good
O'Briens.
burgers. They make good burgers.
Yeah, I feel lame saying that because I did it because the O'Brien brothers owned it,
Okay.
and I've idolized the O'Brien brothers, and like Corey O'Brien, Gavin O'Brien, just like. Pfft, yeah, rad. It's San Jose, and it's San Jose. It was in San Jose, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, NHS was distributing it, but they didn't own it.
Gotcha.
So it was one of those like royalty deals.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of missed being at NHS,
Oh, yeah.
and because at that point I started skating with Ched a lot, who rode for Creature. And Tim I'm always skating with, so we were always together. And I just wanted that van. And I wasn't even thinking about money. I wasn't thinking about anything. I'm like, I just wanted that van.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize Sonic was the stepchild of NHS. You know, like I didn't realize that.
Okay.
But even though I still got to go in the van, I mean, I could go in the van anyways. It's not that big of a deal.
But yeah, but you wanted to be.
I just wanted to be back there because
Yeah.
I missed being back there. But it didn't really work out, and they really weren't selling stuff, and I just ended up just like quitting for nothing.
Oh yeah, just
I'm
over it.
out. I didn't have anything going on, and honestly, I was like, I think I'm done.
With skating in
Not
period.
with
I mean, with the
skating,
sponsorships.
with being like a pro skater, because to me at the time I was old.
How old were you?
24.
20.
Wow.
Okay.
So
crazy to
young,
think
dude.
I know.
I'm like, maybe I'm just done, because I mean I wasn't getting any calls. I wasn't like really. I didn't have any good ideas or anything. And so at the time, and then at the time I was riding for Pig Wheels, and I was really good friends with Beagle. I
Not
tend
the filmer.
Not the filmer.
not the filmer, Josh Beagle.
Yeah.
Josh Beagle.
I tended to become friends with the partiers in the scene. But I just didn't have anything for a while, and I was like, well, maybe it's just over. I kind of was thinking like that. And then I was riding for Vans at the time,
Oh, yeah?
and I had a pretty good gig going there, and the team manager, Scott Sismus, really like went out of his way for me. I was part of this thing called the Pro Series with Julian and Karma and Ethan Fowler and Ray Barbie, but it really wasn't doing anything because it was just a weird time for Vans.
Yeah, it's like when they're doing all the cup
And
stalls.
yeah, and they basically like, you guys come in and design, but we're gonna tell you what we're gonna make. So we were like, why are we here?
Yeah, that's weird.
Just sit in the design, like just like. But I'll admit, like all of us, even though that's like such a great crew of skaters,
Yeah.
at the time, it really wasn't very influential. You know what I mean? Because like, I watched Jeff Rowley's thing that you guys did.
That's right, yeah.
He came in right after that and did exactly what we wanted, but he had the name at the time to make it work.
Right.
Like, unfortunately, us at the time, it just, I don't know, it just didn't work. But anyways, I got off.
No,
I got off. But it took a name like Jeff Rowley to bring back the vulcanized sole.
Right.
He was huge at the time.
Yeah.
Still. Yeah,
Absolutely.
totally.
It's cool though. Like all you guys that skated knew that that's what you wanted Vans to be that again. Not
Yeah,
like,
and they didn't want the like just like Rowley said, they didn't want the stripe on anything. And we're like, we want the fucking stripe.
Right.
We want vulcanized. We want light. We want flexible. We want
Yeah.
this. And they're like,
Well, he had to really fight for it, really.
Yeah.
but he
Yeah.
had that leverage.
That's true.
And there was more involved in that because it wasn't just Jeff. It was like the flip guys got into Vans and like really like sold them like, we're going to help you.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And it was great for Vans.
Sure.
It was great.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I'm not complaining about anything. Like, I realized, like, we weren't the dudes to do that
Okay.
at the time. Like, it would be different, 5 years later.
Yeah. Oh,
Except
sure,
for
sure.
Ethan. Ethan, I think, and that's why he went on to get a pro shoe or whatever. Ethan Fowler is fucking insane.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
fucking good. And through Vans, I got to go on so many insane trips.
I bet.
Just madness.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine being in a van. Cardio. Ethan Fowler.
Yeah.
Karma Toshev. Julian Stranger.
Crazy.
Tony Trujillo. Chet Childress. Aaron Harrison. Who am I forgetting? Alan Peterson.
Oh, yeah.
And just feeling like you're worthless. And then so Scott Sismus was like, why don't you ride for Label? And Black Label had been my favorite company since it started.
Oh, yeah?
And then I kind of got to know Lucero over the years because I remember like in the early 90s, everyone was kind of the same. And so Lucero would see me and he'd be like, punk.
Oh, you call you out? Yeah.
Not call me out like you're into punk. I know, like
right.
because no one else was. Everyone was into just like in the hot
Fresh.
thing. Like it was very fresh and this and that. And so he was always like, I see you.
Mm-hmm.
Which just like I just kind of peed my pants because I was so stoked. Like
your pegged pants.
yeah, I was just peed my peg pants.
Oh, you mean right now or back then?
No, not yet.
Okay.
I'll call it. I don't know. I was just a Lucero fan.
Sure.
Because there was funny little things. that I would remember from skateboarding, like in the magazines. And one of the things that stuck, and it wasn't like so-and-so did this and on this wall, or Noddish did this. It was like Lucero got married and he had a tuxedo with shorts with socks with the sock holders.
Oh, with the thing, the old school businessman sock holder,
have
right?
the sock holders, and I was just like,
that stuck out to you.
fuck, that's so cool. or like there was the Jason Jesse ad. He wasn't even, there was a little sequence, but he's just like hanging out on his old truck. Mm-hmm. And then there was like all this like Elvis shit in the background, and like a tapestry and these like Catholic candles and shit. And I was just like, oh, that is so fucking cool. That's the kind of shit that stuck in my head.
Gotcha.
More than like some of the like, so-and-so did this and so, like, I mean, I remember that shit too.
Sure.
I just really liked that kind of like bold personality, you know?
Right.
Okay, now I'm off subject again.
The label.
But okay, so then I was talking about how I'd always loved the label, but the label was always kind of, you kind of knew it was either out of a garage or kind of in a warehouse, or it was kind of small. And by that time, even though I didn't hardly make any money, I made enough to pay my rent, buy food, pay for my health insurance, and buy fucking beer.
There you go.
And I liked having that.
The essentials.
The essentials.
Sure.
Yeah. But
The month to month.
But I always kind of knew like Black Label was kind of like up and down all the time.
Okay.
Even though it was, to me, back in the early 90s, it was Black Label, Alien Workshop, I thought were the two coolest fucking things in skateboarding.
Okay.
So at that point, I'm starting to think, I'm done.
You're done.
I'm done.
Did you know Lucero at all?
Yeah.
Oh, you
Because
did?
we would end
Okay.
up, like, by that point, once again, I told you I became friends with the partiers.
Yeah.
So it would be like trade show, Lucero in the beer garden.
There. Okay.
Or whatever contest, there's some party and it's like Lucero's at the bar.
Yeah.
Tequila. And so, and I was like, you know what? What a great way to go out.
The label.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a great way to go out.
That's
know?
what you were thinking.
Yeah, absolutely.
You didn't think this was a
100%.
start of like a no.
Start
Not at
drinking
all.
team.
Not
Huh?
at all.
Start a drinking team.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
if you
I
want
was
to,
like,
sure.
He was already on that.
I love Black Label, and he offered me a little bit of money. I'm like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool, actually. That's rad. But then, and then even before, what I'm getting to is, he was like, oh, let's do this video, and I'm just like, okay, yeah, you know, what else do I have to do? I was getting a decent check from Vans. I was like surviving.
Okay.
And I mean, and when I mean decent back then, it's just like whatever. 100. Well, I don't know. I don't want to talk about money, but it wasn't a lot. It wasn't a lot of money, but I was paying my rent. I was buying beer, and I was buying gas. You know.
Yeah.
And so I was like, yeah, dude, rad. What a great way to go out.
Okay.
Perfect, because I've always wanted to ride for Black Label. And not too long after that, Giant picks him up.
And blow up.
Yeah, and because John owed money to Giant, or to
Oh.
Paul Schmidt.
Yeah.
And so John was willing to give the company to Giant and to pay off his debt.
Okay.
And Schmidt, being the cool ass motherfucker that he is, was like, no. We'll work out a deal, and we'll help you. We'll work out this payment program, and you
sick.
can start paying off your debt, and then we'll help you distribute, and we'll work out this thing.
Rad.
Wow, that's cool.
Well, because Paul Schmidt feel kind of, I mean, I can't put words in Paul Schmidt's mouth, but when Schmidt Stick started, Lucero and Grosso came on, and that's when everything blew up for Schmidt Sticks. It was like, because he was kind of not really anything, and then it just kind of went boom. So he was always like, try to help out John. That's how he got into debt.
So he's kind of helping him out,
Because
like
he's
doing him a
always been
favor.
helping him out.
Yeah.
So like give him boards, John can't,
Sure.
you know, that
They
kind
can't
of
pay
thing.
for 'em,
Yeah.
So then the Giant thing came about, and I was like, whoa. Because right at that point, Element was like the shit. And Destructo was like booming, you know, and like they were like kind of cranking.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, that's kind of gnarly. Then Mike V got on the team.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, whoa, that's fucking kind of gnarly. And I'm like, and now there's talk. And even though, like, when they went to that, he's like, I have to cut your pay. I'm like, fuck, I don't care.
Okay.
Like, whatever. But he's like, it's going to get better. We're with Giant now, you know? And I was like, I started scratching my chin and going like, he's like, I really want to do this video. I really want to do this video. And I'm like, and so at that point I was like, I really need to clean up my act because I fucking party. Crazy. You know, like we're wearing suits, coveralls with BMC on the back and all that. Like we're just on cruiser bikes. We're just like running rampant in the streets of San Jose, you know?
Okay.
But I'm like, dude, I got to get my shit together.
Yeah.
You know, and at that point, Aaron Harrison and Chet Childress end up moving to San Jose. And so we had like this rad little crew. I love those skating with those dudes. And that was around the time Tim died.
Oh, wow.
When all that stuff was going on. And something snapped in me when Tim died too. I just kind of like, everything's going to be different now. I just had this thought in my mind, like everything's going to be different now. And I was like, BMC's dead. You need to start looking to something else, you know? But so I was trying to get my shit together. And I was doing better and going out filming and stuff, but I was still partying some, you know.
Okay.
And then from, it was the Tim Brosh Memorial Skate Jam after the funeral, I connected with my now wife.
Oh, wow.
She had a friend die the same fucking day or the day before, right around the
Wow.
same time. So we kind of connected under that thing.
Huh.
And like 2 months later, she was pregnant.
Really?
Damn.
Yeah, and,
Worked fast.
And we decided just to go for it.
That's
And that really snapped me. Like we got our own place, and I was just like, "This is my last chance."
that's fast.
To actually do like, because before I was like, I knew I was kind of a pile. I knew I just partied all the time.
Right.
And, I knew I just kind of like skimmed by, you know, and I'm like, this is my last chance.
I mean, it seems like everything just kind of worked. Like the label thing came in. That meant a lot to you. You
it
wanted
was
to get it.
Dumb fucking luck. Total dumb luck. But with work. And I just like sobered the fuck up and just skated like I'm a fucking madman.
How old were you when?
25.
25.
Yeah.
So you had a kid when you were 26 almost,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah, I was 26.
26.
When Haley was born. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, yeah, that can change
That's
your
why
life.
she's going to be 19.
That's crazy.
Wow.
So
You
I
were
just
99.
started making up for lost time, basically. 'cause
Sure.
I was just like, fuck. I even like, it was like squatting, doing squats and weights and stuff. Cause I'm like, I feel like a weakling.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have to jump down stuff. Fuck.
I gotta get stronger.
Yeah, 25's young though, dude.
Yeah, man.
I felt old.
Oh, partying so much.
Well,
yeah.
but at the time, there was that new generation, there was nothing to go off of age-wise. I watched, like I said earlier, I watched all my heroes get out, like at their early 20s. They were just gone. See ya. Overnight. Boom, gone.
Right.
So, I don't know. I just was like, I'll just do this video. Who knows? It's my last chance.
Was that label kills?
Yeah. By I don't know what. I don't know who I'm praying to.
The
but
grace of something.
The grace of somebody. The video hit and it just completely.
Skateboarding needed that video, I feel like, at that time.
I mean, I think like there was times like when the first Zero video came out, skateboarding needed that first Zero video.
Yeah.
There you go.
And then everything went that way.
Yeah.
And then when Label Kills came out, it was like that was blown out, and it needed some refreshment, you know. And Lucero was like the savior, because in the past, even though I had people support me, but it was always kind of like, go shoot photos. Nothing gets used, you know, and me and Tim were always out doing everything, skating mini ramps, skating skate parks, skating streets, skating this, skating that, but it, like we weren't focused, and you know, sometimes it seemed like every time you opened a magazine it was like green grass, handrail, San Diego.
right.
You know, or like this or that. Like Thrasher was good, but
The mags were almost looking for something else
something
that
certain.
you weren't.
Like Thomas Campbell told me a story years later. He goes, I would send photos of you and Tim. I was so stoked on it. And they would just be like, what are you sending? Why are you sending us this?
Wow.
And he goes, dude, these guys are rad. And he goes, they're like, we want gaps or handrails.
That's what
You know,
that
it's
was
like,
what's
really?
going
Yeah.
on,
And
right?
that's how it works. And that's fine. So for a lot of years, it was like always kind of like feeling defeated. Because I'm like, well, I'm into doing this. And I'm going to try to do this, but I don't really want to do this. And, you know.
Or
and
almost like nobody cared.
no one cared, or
yeah.
only certain people care, and I'm only hooked up here because there's one dude that's working here that doesn't give a fuck about what's going on, and they're willing to go out of their way to support me, you know, and that kind of stuff. But John was like, I fucking love all your weird shit. Do your weird shit. Well, do it.
Yeah.
He was like stoked, you know, and I was like, and just having that support of being like, just do your thing.
Well, that's what it should be if you're on somebody's team.
Yeah.
It's like, do your thing.
Do
like,
your
we
thing.
don't
Yeah.
change anything.
Yeah, do your thing. Like,
Absolutely.
And he was like a huge confidence that I realized I didn't have over a lot of those years.
Okay.
And I was just like, oh, I just do my thing.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck yeah.
And that's so comforting,
Totally.
you know,
But
to
I-
know that you could just
yeah.
do you and don't have to like,
yeah, and
fit into the
him
mold.
get
Yeah.
real,
Yeah.
but him get really excited when I would send him like some, like I did this Ollie Miller flip over this electrical box. He'd be like, dude, this is fucking awesome.
yeah.
Where everyone else was like, oh, I hit this hubba, I hit this rail,
Sure.
or, you know, I did this. And it was just cool to have that.
Yeah.
And I guess somehow it worked, I guess.
Totally.
Yeah.
Sure.
It was a whole new, like,
Yeah.
Boosted you.
yeah, totally. And
Yeah.
like I said earlier, like I ended up moving to Huntington Beach going like, I don't think it's going to work. I'll just go work at Black Label. How rad is that? I could work at Black Label.
So this was after Label Kills.
Yeah.
Then
But the video hadn't really hit yet.
God,
And then once the
okay.
video hit, then I started getting calls like from this company or this company, or like
Oh.
things started to happen. And it's like, and then the label started cranking. So it's like, it goes like, oh, look at this royalty check. Wow. Or like, now it's like, this shoe company is interested. 'Cause I was writing for Vans at the time, but they basically told me, where you're at, you're never going any farther than this. So I was like, and I just had like a colorway for CCS, and it did super good right after Label Kills.
Oh, wow.
I didn't get any money for it or anything, but I didn't care. I was like, at that point, I was just like, I'm just trying to work my way back up the ladder.
Yeah.
Or never was up the ladder. I don't know. I'm just trying to do something. And they were like, nothing's going to happen. You're just going to get paid this. Nothing's going to happen. So I was like, well, maybe I'll put my feelers around, you know? So,
Yeah.
and then things started to happen. And all of a sudden I'm like, wow, you're actually making decent money. I can move back to San Jose.
Are you talking about when you went to go work for Label?
So
This
I-
was
so-
when did
okay.
Enjoi come in? This
Okay,
was
I
When did
went,
Dutch come
okay,
along?
so we did Label Kills.
yeah.
A little bit of time passed. It didn't hit right away.
Sure.
Or, yeah, I guess, you know, that kind of stuff takes a little while. Mm-hmm. And I'm a new dad.
Yep.
My wife hates her job. She has to commute from Hayward to San Jose, which is just sucks.
Okay.
And so me as a new dad was like, I have to do something, you know? And I was like, John, I need a job. He's like, come down.
Okay.
Because I didn't think the video worked for me.
Interesting.
I was like, I guess it's not going to work. You know, it wasn't meant to be.
Well, how long was that time?
I mean, it was about 4 months when I mean, I was overthinking things too.
Yeah.
And feeling pressure as a new husband and new father.
Right.
And just being like, I want to be responsible in this situation. And I want my wife to be happy.
Yeah.
And there's a good chance this isn't going to work. But then we were down there for a few months. And then all of a sudden it was just like,
Boom.
boom.
And then what happened after that? Because you eventually went to Enjoi.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you go to Enjoi?
Why not?
I was on...
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just.
I was on label for like 7 years at that point.
Mm-hmm.
One, I was still young and immature.
Okay.
Look at this. When I got married and had a kid, I never had to fucking do anything. Never had a real girlfriend.
Okay.
I just traveled and partied and fucked off and skated all the time.
Your whole life.
That's what you did.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. And then all of a sudden I'm married with a kid and I'm just like handling it, but like not really knowing how to handle it.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It was like a huge learning curve.
I bet.
But still though, the label thing goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, I'm living in San Jose. I own a home.
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting to slow down a little bit with my like motivation.
Okay.
And things start to slow down with Black Label. And then I'd been so involved with Black Label, and so there had to be like cuts, and I don't know, it was immaturity.
Mm-hmm.
And I bet even Lucero would admit to it on his part, and lack of proper communication.
From the company to
Just
you.
from me going
Yeah.
to John going, this is how I'm feeling. Like now I
Right.
could go to somebody and go, this is how I'm feeling.
Yeah,
This is my problem. Why is this happen?
Exactly.
And I just was kind of like also feeling like I was unmotivated. And honestly, but being on tour with Black Label, I don't know what people think who we were or are. For some reason, they think every stop you go to that you want a jug of fucking Jack Daniels and to be taken to the biggest concrete hole that exists. And I kind of was like, I grew up street skating,
Yeah.
you know? I grew up fucking skating curbs and fucking like...
Dude, Black Label had a very distinct look back then.
They did. And, you know,
But at that time when they really popped off, like the blue collar skater wasn't like being represented in any sort of like way
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
And then Black Label comes along with that video, and
And-
everyone just kind of gravitated.
And
towards it.
honestly, like, I was skating with the Enjoi guys all the time.
San Jose?
Yeah.
Louis Barletta?
Yeah, and I was filming with Chris Avery,
Oh, yeah.
and I love filming with Chris Avery, and they were making their video, and I was just feeling stagnant, and then there was the cuts that went down, and I felt like I kind of got a little, just being emo me mixed with being immature, you know, but I don't regret it.
No.
Because I go to Enjoi, and there was amazing skaters on Black Label, but dude, I'm on a team with Louis Barletta and Jerry Sue and all these fucking
Seriously.
dudes, Caswell, and I'm like, I just wanted something new.
Yeah.
And you're back home.
And back
Yeah,
home.
and,
it's-
I wanted to be like these. That was when they were starting to do Bag of Suck, and I'm like, I want in on that.
yeah.
Like, I want to be with these dudes and be part of this. Like, just because I'm needing something inspiring.
There you go.
I'm
Yeah.
bored.
It's
right
refreshing.
now. Yeah, because I'm easily bored all the
Okay.
time.
Oh, you are. Are you bored right now?
Not at all.
Okay, good. As long as there's Sarah Nevada. Pale ale.
No, I'll
dude.
talk about myself all
But
day long. Ask my wife.
Yeah.
How was it calling or telling Lucero
It was hard.
that you're going to leave?
It was hard, but he was cool about it.
Yeah, was he?
And it was kind of easy because I had lined up Russ Prope to have a job at Black Label.
Oh, yeah.
So I kind of called Russ first. I'm like, dude, this is what I'm thinking about doing. And I think for me, it eased me into the thing. But John was cool about it. I'm sure he was bummed,
He understood.
but he understood. And, you know, there's no hard feelings or anything like that.
Okay.
He's one of my best friends to this day. After this, I'm driving to his house.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, so I went to Enjoi and did that, and it was rad.
Yeah.
And I never planned on leaving.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
What happened? First of all, Bag of Suck, your part, amazing.
Oh,
great.
thanks.
Great video for sure to be a part of.
Dude, I'm so lucky was able to be part of 2 videos that are like shelfers,
Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, and once again, dumb luck.
Yeah, but I
Yeah,
mean,
but-
they're the bro. Come
Yeah,
on,
yeah,
you're, you're selling yourself
But
short.
I will admit sometimes at Enjoi, I felt a little inadequate.
Oh, why?
I was older,
okay.
and, you know, these dudes were just killing. Like, they had never really had that video part.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know?
That was Jerry Sue's like
Dude,
fucking.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
his
Jerry
best part. I
Sue
feel like.
almost murdered himself making that video
I
part.
bet.
Like, he was
Why
just
took a
like
10-year break after
he would
that?
he would go and like film and either break himself or get what he wanted and break himself, and then he would just like lay
Yeah,
for like days and like recuperate and
Right.
then be like, I'm ready to go. It was just like, you know, the horses that have the blinders.
oh yeah.
He was wearing blinders throughout.
Oh,
How long
geez.
did that video take?
I have no idea.
No. How long did you film for?
Dude, I'm not much of a filmer. I just go skating, and sometimes I get shit.
Were you skating with Kyle Camarillo a lot back then?
A little bit with Kyle too.
Yeah.
Like Kyle came in on that, but mainly I went out with Chris.
Chris Avery.
Yeah, because Kyle lived up the peninsula, and Avery lived in San Jose, so it was a little easier.
Yeah.
But I filmed with Kyle too. I don't know. I've never been like. I used to try to be like. I'd watch everyone else go in like film mode, and I just didn't operate like that.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I'm the kind of guy that'll go out 5 times in one day. I'll get like 5 things.
Okay.
But I'm not making a list of going like, I'm going to hit this hubba, and then I'm going to hit
Sure.
this, and I'm going to hit
I'm just gonna
this,
skate.
and I might have to go there 15 times.
Yeah,
I just kind of go.
You let the spot dictate what you're.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just kind of like, oh, what can I come up with that's pretty decent?
Fun.
Or try to, everyone's skating this, what else can I skate? Like, what else is around here?
Sure.
You know,
Yeah.
because I knew early on I wasn't that good. Like, watching it, like, dude, I came up with in the era of, like, Danny Way and, like, Guy Mariano and, like, all these people, and you're just like, why am I here? Like, what am I doing? But I'm like, no, but you want to do this, you know, like that. So I'm like, skate faster and do weird shit.
Yeah.
But I really wanted to do that. I really wanted, like a lot of my friends, when, like Mindoli, Edward, Solomon was pretty much a rogue. He was on his whole other thing. But everyone else kind of just went along with the skateboard trends.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, I never wanted to leave the 80s.
You want to just okay.
But I liked modern skating. I love the blind video. I love Guy Mariano, you know, and Rudy and Paulo and all those dudes. And I loved everything.
Yeah.
But I still loved this.
You stayed on your
and I was
path,
like,
what you
how
wanted
can
to do.
let's try to mix the two.
Okay.
You know, like
Yeah.
kind of like mix it up.
Yeah.
And it was exciting for me. You know?
Sure.
Like, and that's what kind of kept me like, and maybe it was part insecurity, like you're not good enough. Mm-hmm. But I think I really just wanted to do something different anyways.
You seem like you just enjoy skateboarding.
Well, I just enjoyed
Just, like, having a
skateboarding,
good
and I
time with
didn't
it.
really care.
You're just being you.
I just didn't
dude.
care
Yeah.
what was going on. I just didn't really give a shit.
Yeah.
And, but I was having, it's totally off subject again. I was in Austin with Mike V like 6 years ago or something, and we were sitting in the beer garden at the Fun Fest.
That's weird.
And I was just kind of like, I don't know what brought it up to me. I'm like, you know what? I never was really, the idea of like contests or trying to compete or anything like that. I just didn't care. But for some reason, I just was like, I just kind of want to express, like, I just want to put my point of view out there.
Yeah. Right.
And I don't know, that's just what it kind of hit me that day in the beer garden. Like, that's all I've ever really done.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And just, I want to put my point of view out there.
Right.
You know?
I mean, it would be weird any other way if you tried to follow these trends and do.
I couldn't. And then honestly, I couldn't compete really. Maybe not. I don't know. But that was what was exciting about like it's like going against the grain in a group of people that are kind of going against the grain. You know. Mm-hmm. That's just like the punk rocker in me.
You had said you never planned on leaving Enjoi.
Yep.
What happened with Enjoi? Why did you leave?
Matt Eversole had issues.
With you?
No, not at all.
Oh.
I've been friends with Matt, and I talked to him yesterday.
Okay.
Since I was 15, we've been friends.
Oh, wow.
He was just butting heads with people at Dwindle.
Okay.
And I was just not used to, like, I come from Black Label where it's like all for one and one for all. We love John, and we don't have a lot of what everyone else has, but we don't care because we love John and we love Black Label. And everyone loved, this is how it began. Everyone loved Enjoi, the idea of Enjoi,
Yep.
but it was like there was like contention with Dwindle. So it's like we would go on these trips and I felt like there wasn't like this mutual respect. And it was weird for me because everyone's kind of like, fucking, you know, always talking shit about this and talking shit about that. And I'm like, what is there to talk shit about? Like, I've never been treated so good as a skateboarder in my life since I was on Enjoi.
Huh.
And there, there's bullshit and everything, but there was just like it didn't have that kind of like, I don't know. But I didn't care. I'm like, I love these dudes. I kind of got it. It's like San Jose's a crew, and whoever else comes into it is part of the crew. It's the Enjoi crew. But then there's like this weird riff between Dwindle.
Interesting.
And here I'm kind of sounding like I'm not really talking shit, but that's just what it was. And it made me feel awkward. And Matt was always kind of going to bat for us.
Yep.
Like literally fighting tooth and nail for us and to keep the brand the way he wanted to keep the brand. And I felt friction because Matt's my friend first, and then my team manager or brand manager second. Yeah. And I don't know. It always made me feel uncomfortable. And then he started really having beef with them where it'd be like, I'd get a call, I'm quitting. I'd be like, great. Because without Matt, it was just like, it's done.
It sounds like you're very loyal to these, your buddies that were the team managers, like Russ Pope
absolutely.
And Matt Eversole.
I don't know. I don't really. Friendship comes first, always.
Yeah, yeah.
And you might make $1 today, but you won't make $1 tomorrow. But you'll have friends.
There you go.
Yes. But and then he kept like going, I'm quitting, and then finally one time he's like, I am quitting.
Okay.
It's done. And the next day, I started heading down to the trade show in San Diego. And John calls me. And he goes, the kid! He's like, what are you doing? I go, I'm actually coming down the Grapevine right now and headed to San Diego. He goes, stop by! Yeah. So I'm like, yeah, sounds awesome. I don't really want to drive all the way to San Diego.
Okay.
So I went to stay with him. He's like, let's go to the bar.
Yeah.
So we go to the bar, and then we start getting drunk, and he's just like, what's going on? And then I just kind of told him what was going on. And he was just like, he looks at me like the John look. He goes,
yes. Right.
And I'm just like, maybe. Because if there was no Matt, then I didn't really want to do it if there was no Matt.
Okay.
Because that was my connection.
But wasn't Louis going to take over for Matt?
This was before all that. This was before all that.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, and really like like I said, I didn't have any plans on leaving. I was like, these are my friends. They get treated extremely well at Dwindle. But without Matt, I just couldn't see it. And then everyone's having meetings going like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Like, do we keep it going? And then, Jerry was going, well, I'm thinking about doing this. I'm thinking about doing that.
Sure.
We kind of all thought it was done.
Oh, gotcha.
And I told him, I go, dude, let's just leave on a high. Like, Bag of Suck just came out. It did really well. Just fucking cut it off.
Wow.
But I could easily cut things off. Like, I'm dumb.
You're dumb.
Like, I'm not money motivated whatsoever. I'm just like, fuck it.
Yeah.
Did it's done. Move on to the next.
They obviously kept it going.
They kept it going.
Yeah.
And Matt, I don't know what Matt's intentions were, but he pretty much kind of just held out and then got everything he wanted. And then by that time, I was already talking to John and already being like, you know what? My name looks a lot better on a black label board. Okay. I don't know. I was just... I'll be honest. Like, the older I got, the more crazy I got.
Oh, yeah?
Because I was like the breadwinner of the family.
Yes.
And I'm just kind of like getting older and going like, fuck, what am I doing? I'm losing it. Like, I'm losing my mind, basically. At the time, I don't realize it. Looking back, no, you were losing your fucking mind.
Yeah. Huh.
And I don't know what it is. It's just skateboarding's a weird... When you get into that sponsored thing, it's just a weird fucking mind fuck.
It is.
For some of us who are emo and crazy. So I thought he was going to quit, and then I kind of started talking to John, and then he made me a proposal, and I was like, oh, really? And then I kind of was already going that way. Mm-hmm. And then Matt calls me and goes like, I worked out a new deal. I got everyone more money. I worked everything out. And I'm just like,
oh, no. Now you're like stuck in between.
but I'm already
kinda,
already moving in that direction.
Right.
Was it still at Giant at that point?
The label was not at Giant. They went solo.
Oh, okay.
But they were still doing well.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I was just already moving in that direction. And then I was like, when's the next time Matt's going to have a fucking breakdown? And I'm quitting. I was kind of over that whole up and down. And I was over, I don't know if I already said this. I was over having to deal with Matt being the guy that deals with everything and me being Matt's friend from when we were teenagers and like feeling guilty that he's under so much stress to try to do more for us.
Wow.
And I was just like, I don't like being there. Because I felt bad for Matt.
Right.
And a lot of times he'd be like, you need to go do this. And I'm like, dude, you know me? Like, it happens when it happens. And you know, I just kind of like,
It's weird when your friends work for the company
Yeah.
with you. It's and they tell you like, hey, you need to go get an ad or something. You're like, oh shit, this is weird.
like,
well, and we
fuck
really
off.
didn't have to get ads. We didn't really have to get ads.
They had to go.
He's
You
like-
had to go party
he's
and
like,
enjoy.
hey, go get hammered and bring Jai.
Go take a photo of it. We'll
But
cut
I
it
don't
all
know.
out.
It was just like I felt like I wasn't doing enough. I don't know. It's just me once again being an emo little bitch.
So back on Black Label.
Back on Black.
How did it feel?
It was cool.
Yeah?
It was great. It feels like home.
Yeah. Right.
Then I quit again.
What did you? What's going on? Why are you quitting?
Because then that's when I actually was having a nervous breakdown. Not really. Okay, so the economy took a shit.
Oh,
You know, 2009, whatever,
That hurt.
2008,
2008 or 9, yeah.
2009,
That
hurt,
something
yeah.
like that. And I remember talking to everyone being like, I feel like something's going on. I feel like something's going on. I feel like something's going on. And everyone's like, no, we're just going to hold tight. We're going to hold tight. Everything will be fine. Just don't worry about it. Mm-hmm. I'm like, you don't understand. I have 2 kids. I have a mortgage. I mean, I need to know what's going on. I need a warning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everyone's like, no, just hold on. So let's say so within 3 months, I went from making $1 a month to making 6 cents in 3 months. And all of a sudden, like, it was like New Year, and it was like, oh yeah, we can't pay anymore. Oh yeah, we can't pay anymore. You know, oh yeah, we can't pay anymore. Mm-hmm. Or like, we can pay you this much. And I just was like, already like me and my wife were doing this due to the stress.
it could become a problem in the relationship.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, this is it. I'm done. And I just wanted to walk away from everything. At the time, like, me and my wife are getting divorced. I have to sell my house. I'm just fucking over everything.
Wow.
And I just called John. I'm just like, and I was kind of, I just didn't have any warning from anybody. And I was, I was asking for a warning, but no one knew. It's no one's fault.
Yeah.
It's no one's fault.
Right.
Yeah.
It's no one's fault. I'm not blaming one person, but we were all just trying to do the same thing and hold on.
Sure.
And then when that happened, it's like everyone else is doing the same thing. I'd like call around to try to get a job or whatever, and everyone's like, we're just trying to keep the people we have.
Right.
Hopefully we can keep the people we have. I just kind of lost it, and I just was like, John, I'm out.
Wow.
And I just was like, I'm doing art shit. And I don't know, maybe I'll go to UPS or something. I just didn't know. I
Try
was
to
like,
find
this is
something.
done.
Yeah.
You know, and I knew it wasn't going to last forever, but I figured it would be more of one of those things like, look in the mirror and go, dude, it's fucking over. Or one of your sponsors goes, come on, man. You know, it'd be more like that.
Right.
Let's get an exit strategy here. But it seems like everyone gets ousted with the economy drop.
Oh, for sure.
A lot of companies fucking fell to that.
But I'm not bitching. I'm not complaining, you know.
Didn't you end up on the 1031?
For a little bit, yeah. So then I just didn't have anything, and I was like, I don't even give a fuck. Fortunately, I made a little bit of money on my house.
Oh,
Me and my
okay.
wife split the money.
Oh, wow.
We ended up getting back together later. But
Oh.
we split the money, and so I was like, oh, I have a little bit of money. And I just was doing art shit, and I don't know, I just was like lurking, and Christian called me up one day. He's like, well, if you don't really have anything going, why don't we make a board for you? I'm just like, yeah, whatever.
just like that.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, go for it. He was like, we could pay you a little bit. I'm like, all right, fucking cool.
Were you making money with your art stuff? Were you selling stuff?
Not a lot.
No? Okay.
No. And still to this day, it's like, I do way more now than I did, but it's still pretty spotty. It's like really hard to rely on it.
Yeah.
For the first time this last year, I haven't had any guaranteed checks coming in.
Oh,
You know, I always had a little something. I just
Something.
kind of let it come in.
that's scary though.
Yeah.
Well, it is scary, but it was funny because I was like, I'm done. Fuck it. I'm over it. I'm going this way. Skateboarding just kept reeling me back. You know?
Yeah.
Because you ended up back on Black Label.
Well, I ended up on 1031 for
Yeah.
a bit, and they had problems. Then I ended up on Elephant with Mike V.
Oh, that's right.
And for the times, he actually paid me really well. I mean, it wasn't a lot, but it was like, oh, wow, cool. It was enough. So I'm like, I know I have this coming in, and I get this little bit from OJ, and then I just have to make this much every month, you know, just to get by. And I did that for a while, and then that exploded, and then I didn't do anything for a while.
But you were on Duff's for a while too, right? That must have been a
Yeah,
good
that was like
paycheck
from- I
had a good
too.
shoot with them.
Yeah,
that
good
was
sh-
no,
yeah.
that was a great gig. That was like from basically that was something that came from the label kills,
Oh, that's okay.
and then I went to Decline.
Decline.
Yeah.
Right.
Then the economy killed that. And then
Yeah.
I just went off into like La La Land.
So after 1031 came in, you did that for a little bit, and then you went back to Black Label.
No, then I went
'Cause
to
you,
and then I did the
Oh, yeah,
elephant,
Elephant,
thing
that's
for
right,
a while.
that's right.
Did the elephant thing for
Yeah.
a while, and then I just ended up talking to John, and I was like, you know what, man. And at the time, I kind of had this weird job position, and I was making decent money, and I'm like, hey, John, and he brought it up again, like label.
Uh-oh.
He goes,
Yeah.
you know, he texted me or something like round 3 or like, third time's a charm. I don't know. Something like that. He was just kind of
Okay.
hinting, and I'm just like, dude, you know what, man? And I knew he was struggling. I'm like, dude, I'll totally down. I don't even care if you pay me or not. You did so much for me. I told you guys about how he was so supportive.
Yeah.
And like, I'm like, I don't even care if my old man ass can help you in any way. It's cool.
Yeah.
I don't even care.
Wow.
Just, you want to make my boards? Cool.
It's amazing that, I mean, sometimes when you quit a company.
But he still pays me. He gives me royalties, and I don't even ask for it. I never even like think about it.
There you go.
It's just like every 3 months, it's like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
But
Yeah.
I don't plan on it. I don't
Sure.
expect it. I don't.
Right.
I just am very appreciative of John Lucero. He's fucking awesome.
No, I was going to say he's the man, because some
Yeah.
companies they don't want you back after you quit.
All 3
It's-
times, like this happened how many times, and he's like one of my best friends.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So, I love John Lucero.
Yeah.
I love you, John.
So today, if John Lucero calls you up and says, "Hey, we're making a video. Let's do this."
He's done that for the last 4 years.
Well, where the fuck's the video? What's going on? Come on.
Dude, I saw you skating Curb Kings, bro. I know.
I know. And honestly, like, my buddy Connor would probably just laugh at me when he heard that. When I get back from this trip, I'm going on a fucking health kick.
Are you?
Yeah.
But it's hard, man. I have to hustle so much just to get by.
Sure.
It's easy not to go skate. It's like, I gotta get
You want
this.
Nick Dompier's number?
I'll give you on a strict program to
No.
get back in.
I don't need that shit. I just need to, like, prioritize.
Yeah. Right.
But I'm always so worried about, like, I gotta make some money. How am I gonna make some money? So it's hard to go like, oh, I'm gonna go skate, and I gotta pick my daughter up at 3. And,
Right.
And now I'm old. I don't have any friends that fucking skate anymore. And for a while I had a rad rotation, because my buddy, I guess familiar with JJ Rogers.
Yeah.
This has been years now, but he lived in Sacramento, but he would come to my house, stay at my house all of his work was in San Jose.
Okay.
I'm getting ahead of myself.
No. Go.
So he was staying at this other dude's house, but I'm like, dude, if you want to stay here sometimes to mix it up, and we'll cook dinner for you, and he's like, yeah, rad. Because he was living at this house that had this ramp, and we would do this thing every Tuesday. We're going to skate the ramp, or Thursday or something like that. Kept me in the cycle a bit.
There you go.
And then he started staying at my house. I'm like, dude, I found these curbs. You want to start going skating curbs because they're going to tear down the ramp? And he's like, fuck, yeah. And then for a while, Tuesdays and Thursdays, we would just go skate my curb spot like that. And I was like, kept me in tune.
Yeah.
You know? And then that just stopped happening.
Oh, he's no more work in San Jose.
No, he kind of he ended up buying a house way out in the mountains, and he started working a lot in Palo Alto, and he just rigged up a camper in his truck, and he just lives on the job site and works early and works late, and then he gets to leave Thursday night and go to where he lives.
Oh, wow.
So he gets a 3-day weekend. You know?
Okay. So no skate buddy.
Not really. I mean,
But you could go to the parks, right?
I still
mean,
could.
there's
I totally could. And that's what I'm saying. I'm going to go home and just be like, okay,
health kick.
I don't care if I don't have anyone to skate with. You're going to get up in the morning and you're going to go on a walk and you're going to get coffee and then you're going to go to the skate park and you're going to be home by noon and then you're going to work.
Right.
Then you're going to pick up Lux at 3 and then you're going to go back home and you're going to work.
It sounds good on paper.
I've done it before.
Yeah.
But I just get stressed and then I drink too much and then I wake up groggy and then I fucking
It all stops.
do it all over.
Right. I mean, listen, some people can go skate alone.
I can do it. I can do it when it's just like me trying to get in the cycle.
In the cycle.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's just trying to get my legs back and be, yeah. Mm-hmm. But it has to be like,
As he's taking a nice long sip of the Sierra Nevada.
Oh, good.
hey, it's getting warm. I need to get this thing down. I've actually been working on this thing with Connor because we were doing the teenage for a while. I don't know if you remember, even saw any, yeah. He was like the media guy for Teenaged.
Well, what is this Teenaged? What is it?
It was a clothing company.
Oh, okay.
And I was kind of brought on to be a ambassador, but I also was like involved creatively and did art, you know. So it wasn't really like, oh, they sponsored me. It was like kind of like it was like a, you know, whatever they want, whatever they brought. What do you think about this? What do you think about this? What do you think about this? Okay, we need to do these videos. Come down, you know, and whatever. So there was the idea, like Connor was like, I really want to see a part from you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. I was like, all right, we can do it. You know, I mean, I'm getting paid from this company. Yeah, I can't say no.
Right.
And if I get focused, I know I can do something. It's going to be old man shit, but, you know, ollies aren't allowed. Run, as long as I can just run into shit and up walls and stuff like that, I'm good.
You're not clicking your tail around anymore?
Yeah. Not a lot. Manuals maybe and shit like that.
Hey,
but yeah.
those are always, yeah.
The older I get, I like to run into shit.
Okay.
Barriers and walls and curbs and shit like that.
Bro, people just want to see you skate.
Yeah.
You know what
I
I'm
know.
saying? Like,
I know.
you don't have to go
And-
crazy.
I know. So he was like, I want to do this thing. And I'm like, well, I'm down to do it, but you put all this effort into something and it comes out and it's here one day and gone tomorrow. So why don't we do something that I would rather do something that says something, you know, and I'm not here trying to spark like some documentary about myself because that's just fucking lame. But I'm like, I just know so many rad people and there's so many people have influenced me over my life. I would rather it be like my story about like how I talked about Salman, like Salman was the shit.
Yeah.
Or Greg Carroll. Or I met, you know, I met Mike V. And, you know, like I kind of like just being like, have a little more and then also film new stuff.
Yeah.
And there might be a little bit of old stuff.
Right.
And because for me, I remember that kind of stuff these days more. You know, it was right after like Nora came out with that thing and it was like her skating and like kind of about her. And I'm like, that kind of stuff to me is inspiring now.
Yeah.
Not just like someone's like clip, 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 you know, which I like to see that too.
Yeah, but a story is
But
nice.
I enjoy more like what you guys do,
Oh, yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and more like of a documentary little thing with
Right.
some information because we're fucking old.
Oh,
And it's not just like so-and-so did this on this and so-and-so did this on this and so I don't know who so-and-so is anymore.
Yeah.
It's like kind of like, damn, everyone's fucking amazing now.
Yeah.
it's true.
Go to the skate park and I go, I don't even know if that's good anymore.
Yeah.
Because to me that was amazing, but that's probably just normal now. You know, like I don't even know.
You don't, you're right.
Once I couldn't put myself into the situation, I didn't know how to judge it. Because before, even if
yeah.
I couldn't do it, I knew I couldn't do it. I understood why it was like hard.
Yeah.
And why it was. And now I'm just like, I don't even know.
You don't know.
Is there anyone new that you're psyched on? A new generation?
I like T-Funk.
T-Funk's amazing.
Hell yeah.
Because T-Funk is doing everything I dreamed about.
Oh, yeah.
But couldn't do it.
Right.
And there, I mean, to be honest, like, there's so many amazing kids now. I get more of a kick out of like just the weird kids I find on Instagram or anything that are just doing things for themselves.
Yeah.
They're not even like really trying to be sponsored or anything. And because there's so many good people, and it's almost like,
It's hard to find somebody that stands out in a
it's
crowd
just-
almost.
I just like the purity of it. Mm-hmm. You know, and there's all these kids that are ripping, and I give them credit, but they have an agenda.
Yeah.
And they have sponsors, and that's great, and I'm happy for them, and they're probably going to make a lot of fucking money.
Mm-hmm.
Great. But I like these kids that are doing cool things, that are just doing it, and they have no expectation.
Right. Right.
And it's like the friendship kids, and you know, and like just all of the weirdo. Like, I'm sorry that we're all weirdos, but you know, I just like those dudes. There's these dudes that are just doing all this stuff, and I'm like, it makes me want to skate.
Okay.
Because watching all these crazy, gnarly dudes,
You can't relate.
can't relate, and it really is kind of like, I know I'm old. It doesn't matter. I'm just kind of like, it doesn't
do
really
anything.
do anything.
Yeah,
for me,
yeah.
You know. And there's more guys. I'm just like, I see some clips here and there. I'm just like, holy shit! Some foundation, was it a foundation kid? He did some crazy Wally
Oh, nose
270 to nose
Oh,
blind.
yeah.
Uh,
yeah.
Corey Glick.
Corey Glick.
Yeah.
I can't remember names anymore.
Yeah.
Brain cells lost a
Gone?
long time ago. Done.
At the beer at the beer garden.
What was that kid? Ace? He skated.
Oh, Ace Pelka.
Yeah, he's sick.
I like Ace Pelka a lot.
Yeah. He's awesome.
I don't know. And like, there's a lot of kids that I found through doing the Slappy Hour thing. I just like, oh, these kids are rad.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kind of, those are my guys now. And
What's Slappy Hour?
I have no fucking clue. You know what Slappy Hour is? It's my third child. Because I didn't plan it like both the other two.
Oh my god!
It just
Perfect.
Sorry,
explanation.
kids.
Yeah.
They'll never watch this. They don't give a fuck.
You never
They don't care.
You never
Yeah.
know.
They don't
man.
care.
You never know.
And they already know. But it was one of those things that started as a hashtag,
Okay.
and me being me instantly started thinking about things visually. Mm-hmm. And I could tell you the long-winded story, or I could just tell you, like, I make T-shirts and shit.
There you go.
But it really started because, like, I was talking about me and JJ.
Yeah.
So we were going to the curb spot 2 days a week.
Yep.
And so, you know, we all have phones. We'd film each other, like, cool, and do the little phone edits. And I'd put them on my, like, Instagram or whatever. And then Matt Eversole, like, kind of caught wind of what we were doing. And he goes, dude, he wasn't working at the time. And he was like, let's go start making curb videos. I'm like, all right, cool. So we went out one day, and then we like filmed some clips, and he goes, you should come up with a hashtag. I'm like, really? And I'm not like, I understood what he was getting at, but I'm not totally like, I don't think like that.
Yeah.
Like oh, how
You're
am
not
I
trying
gonna
to brand it?
how am I gonna brand and promote my curb skate? Like, I was like, no, I'm just doing this because I'm older and I want to keep skating, and I'm not jumping fences all the time. You know, I'm not out jumping fences and stuff. And I just want to keep skating, and it reminds me of being a kid, hanging out in the parking lot and skating curbs, and there's no pressure, there's no nothing.
Yeah.
But he's like, yeah, but let's just make a video. You know, I'm like, so he's like, you should come up with a hashtag, and I go, right off the Slappy Hour.
Slappy
He goes,
Hour.
That sounds cool. I'm like, well, and I go, well, I'll think some more, and you know, yeah, I'm down to keep making them. So we just started doing that. It was like I would made a few with Matt, and I would still do some with JJ, and I would just be like, hashtag Slappy Hour.
Right.
Hashtag Slappy Hour. And then, of course, right when I went home, I instantly had an image in my brain of like a logo.
Oh.
And I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna make a logo. And then I can make my cheesy little videos on the phone, and I could just have a logo in front of it, and it would just kind of make it something.
Sure.
I was not thinking about anything but just me being visual.
Okay.
I wasn't thinking about trying to start a brand. I wasn't thinking about anything like that. And I just started doing that, and it kind of started clicking, and people started tagging me like Slappy Hour.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, huh. And then every once in a while I'd make a round of shirts, but I just figured it was going to be a really quick flash in the pan.
Mm-hmm.
And I would keep doing it, but everyone else would just get bored of it. Mm-hmm. So I never really was like, oh, I'm going to put any effort into this. I just kind of make stuff. Sometimes go, oh, I made a round of Slappy Hour shirts and koozies.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, but I didn't want to ruin it because I was having fun doing it. It was a way to keep me attached to skateboarding because I wasn't very attached to skateboarding. And we've always been like that, just like, oh, BMC, let's make shirts. It's just like, let's just do this, like make stuff.
Yeah,
like being
exactly.
creative,
Yeah.
you know? But I didn't want to ruin it because people enjoyed it, and I don't know, and then it's been going on for years. And then it ended up being its own Instagram.
Yeah.
And then I ended up more and more kids, people start tagging, I start reposting their videos, and it just
Sick.
kind of turned into this little thing. And due to some of the videos that I did with Mike V, and we did a couple things with the barracks, and then it just started going like, I'm not saying it's the biggest thing in the world or anything, trust me. But lately I've been treating it a little more seriously.
That's amazing.
Trying to hustle it and
Yeah.
make it look like it's an actual brand. But I held off for years, like years, because I just didn't want to dirty it.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, but
for sure.
after a while, you just go, fuck it.
Well, listen, you got another Slappier sitting right next to you, bro.
Yeah.
Maybe you could put him on the flow program or
Yeah,
something.
dude, absolutely.
Yeah, you can get a shirt and a koozie.
I'll give you whatever you want.
Do you ever skate the Santa Monica curbs?
I never have.
Dude,
Oh.
you would. Roger's there every single day.
Yeah.
You look like you were there today. You look red as fuck.
No, I'm just walking around.
Oh, all right.
Did 10 miles today.
Walking?
Walking.
The fuck
What
you
do
going?
Huh? No, you can check your phone and it'll tell you how far you walked.
I never do
I went to
that.
the post
but
office like 5 times today.
it's like 2 blocks away, though.
Yeah, but I'll go to the post office
Oh,
and
you
walk
walk
to the
down.
end of Appian and come back around.
Yep.
It's a madman.
Well, the curb skating picked up a lot the last
Oh,
couple
man,
years.
it's a big
I mean, it's
thing.
always been a thing, but like, I've seen the younger kids do it, and
It's completely blown my mind.
Yeah.
I would have never thunk it.
Yeah.
I would have never been like,
How'd this come back?
Yeah.
really? And it like I said earlier, I figured it would be this little flash in the pan, and it just keeps going and going and going.
Curbs are everywhere.
I think it's just
Yeah.
relatable, though,
Yeah.
to be honest. Like,
It is.
They're more everywhere than any other spot there is.
I think it goes back to like how I brought up. We were talking about like the new generation, and how I'm like I can't even.
Comprehend.
It's overwhelming to watch what people are doing right now.
Totally.
So to have this whole other, we're skating curbs. It doesn't fucking matter. No one's judging.
right.
No, we're not competing with anybody.
Except the other curb skaters that have their
but it's
little
not
businesses.
there. But it's
Yeah.
not there. Remember when we did the contest?
Yeah.
And we were kind of like, dude, we can't take this that serious.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
if we
Yeah,
do,
yeah,
we
yeah.
shouldn't even be here. You know, it's just kind of like whatever.
This is a free for all. Everyone.
Free for all, just go and,
Yeah.
and we'll it's like because that's what it's not about like who did like it's just
And they are fun to watch. Slappies are very fun to watch.
Slappies are the best feeling in the world.
Yeah. I can't really slappy that much. I got to go skate with Raj more often, man.
But that's
because
all-
I don't know how to.
But that's how in my generation that's what you did.
But it's also relatable to. I mean, these people are doing like slappy front crooks.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and I'm like, I'll probably never be able to do that, but I can almost think I can.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like watching these dudes
You
jump
would
down
probably-
a fucking
you would probably
30
be
stair
able to
rail.
do that before you would just do a frontside one. You just kind of understand like
Oh, front side. You know what? Yeah, you're right. Yeah, front
I mean, I don't
sides,
know.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
the trick to a slappy? If you could try to explain it to me. I know it's a stupid question to ask someone.
Dude,
but
people ask me that all the time.
I've never done one either. And I did like a slappy crook, but it wasn't a slappy crook.
But Kelly, if you put your time and effort into slappies, you would learn them.
I know,
right?
totally,
You
but-
don't even try them.
I have for sure. I just don't get it.
anger,
Anger.
frustration.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like this magical thing of like
bashing.
You kind of ram into it, and you have to let your weight up at the right time, and then you get on the curb, and then you put your weight back into it.
Okay.
It's like
You
boom,
levitate
boom,
into
boom.
it.
I can't describe it.
I can kind of see it a little bit, but
Yeah.
it's hard to, yes, when I do a kickflip, you're like, dude, I can't really tell you.
It's hard to grasp.
It's hard to like.
I think I don't know. Telling people a kickflip's probably easier than telling people how to slappy.
Well,
I don't know.
because you guys are kind of more on the technical side, and I'm more of a surfer.
It's like when you bonk off a curb.
You know?
Oh, okay.
You know, like a crack in the ground.
Yeah,
where you
yeah, I was
kinda
gonna
bonk
say
off it?
bonk.
That,
So,
like-
that weightless feeling you feel right when you do it.
I always feel like
you
a
just
certain
feel like when you get to a
stance.
slappy.
I always feel like there's a certain stance you
But
have.
here's where people go wrong. They try to go back truck first, and you have to take it front truck.
Oh, you do, right?
You know, and then it's kind of like a, or if you stand right on it. But I don't know. I don't know. I've always, like I told you earlier in this conversation, like if I couldn't do them, then I was ass out at Alpha Beta. I was vibed out of Alpha Beta.
You wanna come
Dude,
to the
we
ramp?
used to-
Yeah.
Dude, we used to have, okay, so we're at Alpha Beta, and it was towards the end of the parking lot that we completely took over. And there was 2 islands, like supermarket islands, and we had them both going, and we'd play these games where it was like everyone in a circle, and you slappy, 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 and it was like musical chairs. And if you fell, you were out.
You're out.
And then you had to keep going, and if the next dude fell, or if you were too slow and got pushed out, you were out. And you would go until the last person.
Wow.
It's like duck, duck, goose.
Yeah. Did you ever win?
I don't remember. Probably not.
Okay. Raj, you ever play that? You guys should play that game.
I mean, dude, we're talking 1986 or 87. Or
Hey,
something.
it's back in now though.
It kept me hyped on skating.
Yeah, that's the main thing.
And
Right.
that's all I was looking for.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like it's becoming popular because it's actually a challenge for these young kids because they've never done it before,
It's probably new to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a new thing. Like, whoa, this whole thing.
Yeah.
But it's so,
And
you
it
get so
looks-
creative with it too.
Yeah.
I trip out.
It
on that.
looks
they're
cool.
rad.
I mean,
Yeah.
you're going board slide, front feeble, just,
Yeah.
like all these combos too.
Hurricanes
It's like,
and-
wow,
yeah.
it's really fucking sick.
And it really comes from John Lucero and the O'Brien brothers and Neil Blender and Lance Mountain,
Yeah.
like I just wanted to, like, once again, I was just much younger than them. I just wanted to emulate them in a modern way.
Sure. Yeah.
No, I always wanted to keep the dream alive.
Yeah.
I wanted to keep the curb dream alive. I would do video parts and be like, I got to get a curb, and I got to put a curb in my video part.
Yeah.
Type thing.
It's rad.
Let's get into your art. You do a lot of stencils. We have one of your pieces here in the background. It's amazing. How's that going?
Oh, it goes.
Yeah.
I have it's mainly like skateboard based, like people that are into it.
Yeah.
But I'm somewhat consistently sell stuff.
Okay.
And definitely can't like make a living off of it, even though like it's like art's a weird thing.
It's bizarre.
It's so hot and cold,
Yeah.
and I haven't had any kind of like. This is how I look. I've figured out art is. You need the one right person to
Yep.
go.
You're it.
Ding.
Yeah.
Doesn't even matter what you're doing. The one person goes, ding, you're it.
And your price jumps.
And, yeah.
It's-
And you're getting
yeah.
decent shows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I haven't broken into the art world. Like
You haven't gotten
I've
the-
had like I had a museum show.
Oh.
I've been in 2 museum shows, but I don't even know how that happened. But
You haven't gotten the ding yet.
I haven't gotten the
Yeah. This,
the Tinkerbell.
Boom,
but
you're
that's how.
Mark Gonzalez.
But that's how the art world works. It's like
Yeah.
even if a famous artist buys your shit and he backs you, or like a kind of celebrity type.
I don't
or
think
whatever.
artists back anybody.
It happens though. If an artist is super
Possibly.
into somebody, they'll buy their shit.
Well, I was used to. Yeah, artists do actually, because I have a commission that I'm supposed to do for this artist in LA, and he's kind of up in the world.
Oh,
but,
there you go. That could be your ding.
Could be my ding. And it's taken forever for me to get it done. But, ding. Yeah, I really don't know. Like, because going into it, I just know skateboarding.
Yeah.
And the way this, you know how the skateboard world works. Like, you meet someone you like what they do. You're like, I'm going to help you. Mm-hmm. It's more like you're a threat to my position.
Sure. Yeah.
That's what I felt. I feel like, and I can't say that's for everyone, but it's just like,
right.
and like when Slap was going on, and I didn't deserve it at the time. but Mark Whiteley was the biggest backer of me, and he would always try to get me stuff at Juxtapose, and they were just like,
Really?
yeah, totally. But at the time, when I look back at what I was making, then I'm like, yeah, I don't blame him.
Well, because you've been doing it for a long time now.
Yeah.
You've been doing it for a while.
Like, I started messing around with it when I lived in Huntington Beach.
Okay.
But messing around.
Yeah, no.
Because I didn't think of it as... Okay, can we start with the art thing?
Yes.
The whole time I was a kid, I loved art.
Okay.
And I just was so stoked on it, and I fucking sucked at it. I couldn't draw anything. I couldn't paint. I couldn't sculpt. I would try, like, I had like oil paints, and I would make paintings, and I was just kind of like frustrated. Then I would quit, and then I'd want to do it again, and then I would try again, and I would just get frustrated.
Yeah.
To where, like, when I started skating, it was frustrating, but I was like, no.
Not quitting.
This is it.
Yeah.
Because it's more about being out and having an adventure, really. That's what skateboarding was for me, like having an adventure, not sitting in a room trying to get better at what you're doing.
Right.
So yada yada yada, you know, I have a kid, and actually it was in San Jose. I started tinkering around with like making collages because I hurt my ankle, and I had my newborn daughter 3 days a week.
Okay.
My mom took her on Friday. My grandma took her on Wednesdays. So I was home all day. This is while we were filming Label Kills.
Oh.
And so I would just mess around because she would take a nap, and then I'd be like, oh. And then I would start cutting stencils because I spray paint them on my board or whatever. Nothing.
Yeah.
And I'm into punk rock, and I love the whole like the band Rancid.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. I love their whole like imagery of everything.
Right.
And so I started like messing around that time, and then we went to Huntington Beach, and then I kept messing around, and then John started seeing what I was doing, and he was like, oh, once again, John, being a supporter. Hey, you want to? I have this idea for a wheel series. You want to cut some stencils for this? And I'm like, yeah, rad. So I cut some stencils, and painted some stuff up, and then he just took it, and then him and Nagy just kind of laid it all out. Okay. And then before we moved to Huntington Beach, I kind of came up with this concept. Because once again, like we were talking about, just creative. Like I was like, I had this idea for 6-gun. I'm like, I'm gonna start making T-shirts with this 6-gun thing. Like, and he liked that too. And he was like, oh, let's kind of do some. How about that for a board? And I'm like, okay. He's like, cut some stencils for this and that and that. I'm like, okay, and cut it for my name and do whatever and spray it. And
right.
So it was really John to kind of, once again, just kind of bring me in. And then it was rad working for Black Label because I just watched. John's like one of the best graphic designers in skateboarding over the years, like amazing.
Yeah.
And to watch him work was awesome because I thought things were so much more than they were. And he's just kind of like, no, just grab that, grab this, we're going to put this here and over here. And he just kind of would throw things together, and you were like, fuck, that's rad.
That works, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't so much he was drawing at the time, he was just taking pieces. And I just kind of watched how all that, it kind of made me think like it's not structured.
Okay.
Like anything, you can do it any which way. And there's no rules.
Yeah.
And there's no fine art. It's just whatever you can come up with.
People throw paint on a canvas.
Yeah,
and it's like...
Sell for millions.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is like you see that and you see someone else trying to do that, you're like, I understand why that's better and that's not. Because they have a way of doing it. It's just like there's something there.
Yeah.
But so I just started doing it like that, and then I could tell he started going like, well, let's do another kind of 6-gun looking board. And then it kind of turned into a little sub-brand, and then I was like art director.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And I was making pieces and stenciling things, and it was like, once again, John kind of going like, do this.
Yeah.
And then I found a book. I used to love to go to the bookstore and just look at art books and stuff like that. And I found this stencil book.
Okay.
And because to me, stencil wasn't art. it was just this thing you did. You know, I didn't really, I knew who Shepard Fairey was at the time, but to me, he like made posters and stickers, and I didn't realize it was like stencil based, and I didn't realize he was like in galleries and shit like that,
right,
you know?
right.
And so I found this book, and it had like the street art part of stenciling, and then it had the fine art part of stenciling, and I saw the fine art part of stenciling, and I was like, holy shit.
What's the difference between street art and fine art stenciling?
People were using making stencil-based paintings that were hanging and selling as fine art.
Well, like Banksy.
He was in it, and this was early. This was before people even knew who Banksy was. Like Shepard Fairey was in it. Logan Hicks was in it. Chris, what's his name? I don't know. There was all the dudes that ended up becoming famous for doing it. It was early.
Okay.
But so, you know, street art's like you just take a stencil and put it on the wall.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of pictures where it was just like post no bills or post mo bills or, you know, but then you go to this and like these people are making paintings like legit and they were being looked at as legitimate art. And I was just like, I want to learn how to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
And it took me a while, and I just like, once, just like skating, it was like all will, no skill, and just obsession.
Yeah.
Absolute,
Slam,
total.
get up, slam, get up.
Right.
Yeah, totally. And if I wasn't a skater, I probably wouldn't understand that. I learned a lot with slam, get up, slam, get up. Slam. To apply it to life.
Yeah,
you know?
for
Like,
sure.
and that totally was what it was. And I just kept trying, just for years. Like, dude, I just was like obsessed, like literally obsessed.
Well, it kind of reminds me of what we were talking about earlier with the rubies. You got to cut everything out.
Yeah,
it's
that
like,
was pretty. It's pretty much the same philosophy.
Yeah. Yeah.
When it comes to the basics,
Sure.
layers, you got to know like this is this layer, you know.
Yeah.
And then you can take it whichever way. Everyone goes a different direction, but it's not just straight, you know. However, that, and I think that's where the art comes into it.
Yeah.
Because then it's just how you decide to apply it and how you cut it and things like that.
Well, looking at this piece behind us, this black flag piece, like how many layers, how many stencils is that?
That one's pretty simple.
It doesn't look simple.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I really got into.
Now, is all the sorry to interrupt. Is
No.
all the black one stencil
always-
and all the red is one stencil, and
Yeah.
so you're
And then
looking
the
at like
shading,
4 or 5
There
stencils.
might only be like 5 there.
Okay.
I've done ones that have
Okay.
like 13 or 14.
Seriously.
Yeah.
That's how do you know where? I mean, are you printing? Are you drawing them and
gotta have
printing them
registration
out,
on
and
there.
then you're
I
doing
can't,
the?
I can't even write my fucking name.
What do you mean?
Dude, if you saw me write, you'd be like, what the fuck? You write like a doctor.
What?
I can't draw anything. And that was my thing, like wanting to get into art my whole life and being frustrated my whole life. Then I found the stencil thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can copy shit. You know, because at first you're just copying shit.
So you're
and you start with just one image, like the black, and you just are cutting the black,
cutting it
and you
out.
figure out how to like what they call like it's like bridges and islands.
Okay.
Because you have to keep everything together.
Right.
So you need a bridge to the island to keep everything together. And you start learning like that, and then you start looking at other people, and you go, "Fuck, they have like all this shading shit."
Yeah, like how do they do that?
Yeah, and I didn't understand. And then I was talking to Jai one day. He goes, registration marks. I'm like, what do you mean registration marks? He goes, it's like silk screening. You have registration marks to make sure everything lines
You line
up.
it
I'm
up.
like,
Light bulb
and then I
goes
started
off.
making registration marks. And right there, then it was just like, dude, I could like put layers on layers on layers. And then you just get better and better. You go, I don't like that one. Let's try to go more
Okay.
detail. I didn't like that one. Let's go more, you know. It was just, I was just obsessed.
Yeah.
Absolutely obsessed. I would stay up at night, like just being like, dude, I want to get better. 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 I want to be able to like make paintings that people might want to hang in their house. And
Totally.
And I just found the thing that worked.
Yeah.
And and that book said like it's okay to use stencils to make
Yeah.
art.
Yeah.
Because I didn't take it seriously. I was
Oh,
like, I'm
yeah,
just some
right.
punk kid that cuts stencils and makes T-shirts and shit. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I mean, if people are splashing paint on a canvas, I think stencils is
Yeah.
perfectly.
And then
A little more labor.
it's a very more like I was going to say it's time consuming.
It is
cutting out all those
extremely.
things. You
And
must
I
spend a
have
lot of money on razor
carpal
blades.
tunnel in my thumb, and
Yeah.
He's
You
gonna
just get a laser cutter. Yeah. Just program that shit. And
But
how
then-
many layers?
but
25?
But it doesn't work that way.
I'm just kidding.
I
though.
know.
It would be
Because people
good.
always say that you can get the machines to do that. I'm like, no, because you don't know what you're going to cut until you're cutting it in the moment.
Yeah.
It's like what you see, like how you see it in the moment.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think I get it because I love skateboard graphics so much.
Mm-hmm.
Like growing up, just looking at them, and it's kind of the same thing. They start with a black line, then they do the shading, and then they do, and the shading goes in layers. And a lot of times you put the final, like the white on top of the black, and it's you start to learn how the layers go.
Processes and how they.
But one of my main goals when I started doing it, because then I learned about all the people. So and that was around the time like Shepard Fairey was starting to blow up, and I'm like, fuck, everything I want to cut out, like Shepard Fairey cuts it out.
Beat you to
But
it.
at the same time, he's not much older than me, and we grew up skating and being into punk rock, so it kind of makes sense.
Makes sense.
But
Yeah.
I just remember going, I want it to look like it's not stenciled.
Oh.
I want to try to make things that don't look like a stencil painting.
Okay.
And that was like my goal for a lot of years. Just try to mix like almost like a mixed media kind of thing.
Right.
This one's not so much, but I mean it's like latex and it's not all spray paint. Is what I'm saying.
Okay. Yeah.
Try to bring in depth and contrast and bring in texture and that kind of stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah, how long did that one take you?
I have no fucking clue. Just cut that stencil. That stuff is really simple stencil.
Is
oh,
it?
okay.
Yeah, I mean sometimes I do some. I really like doing portraits. I really like trying to bring.
Yeah, I've seen a bunch of portraits.
I really like trying to bring like life to them and really like give it like have it look proper and have the right colors and stuff like that's what I like doing the most. But for a while I was into doing crazy like collages and stuff like that. But
How much for a big old Krob portrait?
it depends who's asking.
Krob's asking. I wanna know. No, but it's amazing.
I would
though.
do
It's
it. I would do it for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. That'd be a great T-shirt.
I know. What if we?
That would be really
Yeah.
fucking sick.
Yeah.
Send me a picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The beard one, the first
No,
one.
no,
Yeah.
no. We can't do that one, man. My first board graphic, it was. I had this horrendous,
All I need-
unkept beard.
I
It
need
was
a,
not good. It was not the
send me a
best look.
photo of what you want, and I'll do a portrait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was the one of you outside of the van, like looking in or something with the beard?
If we're gonna do, if we're good with the beard, you know, if we're gonna do a T-shirt, I mean, we can't have that many colors.
It depends how you want to do it. Like, I mean, technically you
Trying
could
to
do a
think about-
4-color process, but I can definitely go like, okay, guys want 3 colors or
Yeah,
2
yeah,
colors,
okay.
or
Oh.
then I could work with that. You just have to say what you want.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Like if you want 1 color, then it'd just be
You can
like,
always just go direct to garment, digital print.
Oh, but I like the screen printing,
Yeah, I
dude.
know.
Right?
I mean,
It's like the boards, Raj.
Yeah.
You know, old good old screen printed
love
board.
it.
I agree. I love screen printing.
Yeah.
But I've had my stuff printed in 6-color process, 4-color process. But I don't know.
Yeah.
T-shirts, sometimes it works.
Yeah,
Sometimes
yeah,
it's
yeah.
not
What's the
so
most
good.
layers you've done?
Probably 13, 14.
13,
something like that.
14. It's a lot of layers.
But a lot of them are simple.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there's usually like, on average, I do 4 to 5 for some of them, like shading, and then some of them are just like the shape of the head, the shape of the whatever,
Right.
basic, just
I got an idea. You go buy a diamond, right?
Mm-hmm.
Diamonds are how much? I don't know. Some of them are expensive. Some of them are, throw a little diamond in there. Now you're selling your art for crazy money.
There's also semen in there too.
Whoa. That weed water is helping.
I know. Left turn. Right away.
And
Raj,
blood.
Right away.
Your work is only worth as much as the wall it's hanging on.
Interesting. Huh.
It's for some reason, somebody decides they want to give you a show in some uppity gallery, and it's on there. It's like boom.
Boom. Ding.
It's just like what we were talking about before. It's like
Ding.
Tinkerbell.
Yeah. Man, art world, it trips
It's
me
not
out.
like,
I don't
it's
understand
not like skateboarding.
art.
It's not like
Whole
skateboarding
different
at
world,
all.
yeah.
Yeah.
I some art, look at it and I'm like, I would never hang that in my fucking
Yeah.
house, and it's worth $1 million.
Some people love it. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
it's insane.
totally. I mean, I keep chugging along, and
Yeah.
because I'm like one of those guys that keeps ramming his head against the wall.
But as long as you
broke,
love it and
but I
have
don't
fun doing it, you know, it's like
Yeah.
skating, right?
Yeah,
It's like
totally.
It gives you something.
The only thing that I don't like about it is it keeps me from skating sometimes, and I miss it.
Right.
And it's hard to,
that
even when I
balance,
was
yeah.
like, what's that?
Have that balance.
It's
It's a
hard.
balance.
And then especially with having kids and being married, it's kind of like I'm always like a pinball. Like,
Right.
huh? What am I? Oh, I need to do this. I committed to this, but I haven't skated.
Yeah.
I should. You know,
Right,
it's just
right,
kinda-
right.
And,
And that
I'm
sucks.
out of my mind too, so I'm kind of like walking in circles. I swear to God, if there was a camera, like if you installed a camera at my house and you watched how I operated, you'd be like, "What is your fucking problem?"
We could play the Benny Hill theme song
Yeah,
too.
it'd just be like, I'd be like, I'm in the garage. Wait, I have to pee, and then I'm walking, and in front of my garage, I have like a big like car tarp, and I have a bunch of stuff, and I work out there too. And then I'm like walking, and I see something, and I'm like,
Wait,
and
have
I'm
to
like,
pee.
what was I doing? And then I go back in the garage, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to ship that. Fuck. And you know, I go all over. Then I go, wait, I needed to pee.
Right.
I'm insane.
Well, listen, bro. We'll install this camera. We'll get to they'll see what's going on.
I don't
We'll
want
really
see. I don't want people to see it.
Yeah.
It would be funny.
It would be funny, dude. Well, listen, bro. Is there anything that we should talk about? Anything that we missed before we wrap it up? Any good Enjoi Louis stories? Any?
Oh, like Louis coming to our door with the sponsor me video.
What do you mean?
We lived in this house, and I was pro at the time. And
Pro for
Scarecrow.
okay,
Knock on the door, open it up. I didn't realize it at the time. It's Louis.
okay.
Definitely didn't realize it at the time that he's older than me by a few months.
Yeah.
Nobody really knows Louis' age.
I just let it out.
Yeah. Because you're 32, right?
Yeah.
Almost. Yeah.
Going on 64.
Yeah.
And I just like looked at him, and I just took the tape and closed the door.
Shut the door.
Because Simon lived there at the time, and it was for Sonic.
Sonic.
Oh,
I can see that for
interesting.
sure.
Did you watch it with Simon?
No.
Oh, you didn't even see. You didn't even.
I just like threw it in his room.
Did Simon?
And then we probably went to the liquor store. Yeah, because I think that got him on Sonic.
Did he have the bowl cut back then too? Was
No,
rocking
he
the bowl?
didn't.
No,
He didn't have the bowl cut.
Okay.
And then after that, I started like kind of seeing him around.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, and then they all lived. So we lived on 13th Street, and the route to the bar we'd go on 13th Street, Santa Clara Street, and we would take 13th all the way down to San Fernando, and they lived at the San Fernando house. And we'd go down this way, and every time their garbage cans were out when we were riding our bikes to the bar, smash.
Yeah.
Knock them all over.
Yeah.
And they were dumb. They never like did some sort of sabotage because they knew it was going to happen every time.
Every time.
Every time. And we did it every time.
I mean, it must have been. I mean, once a week at least. Every.
Oh
Thur-
yeah,
every,
I know. I think it was a
every
Thursday
garbage
night.
day,
So by
Thursday.
by Thursday, it's Thirsty Thursday. So it's like
You're going to the bar for
but
sure.
we went out Tuesday, Wednesday, Monday, Sunday.
Yeah.
And
Taco Tuesdays,
Yeah, it
you
was
know.
So if they change a trash day,
Yeah,
it would
I mean,
still
dude,
happen.
The older dudes would call me and go like, "Kid, we're going out," and I go, I'm not going out, dude. I'm fucking haggard." "No, kid, you're going out." "No, you don't understand. I'm haggard. I don't want to go. I should go. I need to skate." And they'll go, "Cab will be there in 15 minutes."
Click.
Knocking over trash cans. Next thing you know.
Yeah.
No, those are different nights. That's just like get in the cab. Just like, or Reeps like calling me like, "Kid, we're going out. We're going out." I'm like, "No, I'm not. I'm no." He's like, "Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Going to the liquor store. I'm buying a bottle. I'll be at your house in 20 minutes."
Damn.
They're not taking no for an
It was,
answer.
dude,
Yeah.
it was like brutal partying, in the best way. In the best way.
Looks like you're having fun, man.
Oh yeah,
I know.
we were having a great
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
I love talking about that shit.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
What's the one bar? Cinnabar? What's it called?
Yeah, Cinnabar.
Yeah. Is that like your local spot back then?
Kind of, but Cinnabar wasn't Cinnabar back then. Cinnabar was a straight up dive. So we would go there like on a Wednesday night to listen to the jukebox, and we'd play like Merle Haggard and sit and drink with all the alcoholics and like literally like just old men, homeless people. But now Cinnabar is like the center of everything, and now it's my friends own it. So you go in there, the skateboards everywhere, and my art's hanging in there.
Oh, wow.
But now I don't really go there because I live in Campbell and I'm old and I just watch TV. But yeah, I think that's it.
Okay. Cue the music. Just kidding. Can we give you some 9 Club stuff to take home with you?
Yeah, I brought you guys
bro?
some stuff too.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Kelly, go grab.
Yeah,
grab him some.
What size T-shirt?
Large.
Large, man. Do you wear hats? Can we give you a hat?
Yeah,
bro?
I wear.
Yeah,
I wear
all kinds
hats.
of stuff, man.
I brought you guys. Well, I brought you those candles,
Oh, thank you for this.
and
have
David Bowie.
I'm gonna do this,
Oh,
and then I'm gonna do this,
and then you're gonna take a sip of beer.
and yeah.
So predictable.
This is
I just brought one of each of my Slappy Hour shirts. They're all large, so
Oh,
I don't know
awesome.
who wants
Perfect.
what.
Perfect.
There's a
I'm a-
short sleeve.
I'm a-
there's a long sleeve.
I'm a long-
And then this is the Rust pocket tee.
Oh, there you go. I'm a long sleeve guy, so
Okay,
I'll take the
take the
long
long
sleeve.
I'll take this.
Boom, there
Look
you
at
go.
That's our homemade wax that my daughter makes.
That's rad.
Wait a minute, this is packaged nicely though. It's
Well,
how do you
I
read
have
it?
I have a shrink wrapper.
Shrink wrap.
Wait, let me see one of those, Raj. Thank you.
You have a little sear it.
Yeah.
She does it all.
How many can she make in an hour?
No, it's like a day.
Oh,
It's like a process.
is it?
Yeah. Because you kind of like make the batch, and then she'll pour it,
Mm-hmm.
and then it dries, and then she'll pull it out and put it aside and make another batch. And then
Because you're using
after-
mold, so
Yeah.
however many you can fit in a mold.
Exactly. And then at night she'll go in and watch TV and shrink wrap it.
It's cheap labor.
Well,
13-year-old and the 19-year-old.
Thank you, Kelly.
18, 19, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
We kind of came up with it together. We figured it out because when I started doing it, I realized there's a little bit of a science to it.
Yeah, of course. Right.
And then once we got it down, she got it down, and then I'm like, "That you do it." And then she gets all creative with like,
I was just about to say, I
Yeah.
like the touch of the melted wax
Yeah.
on the bottoms.
because you know why? They're bleeding black hearts.
Oh, look at you.
Gotcha.
Look at you.
She gets all into it because she's kind of just like that. She likes to get into shit.
It's, you know what? It comes from the heart.
But I would like to plug something.
Go ahead.
Any of this stuff or my art,
Yeah.
you could find it at Cellador, thecellador.com, which is Matt Ebb's new project.
Yeah.
Oh, thecellardoor.com.
Yeah, he's trying to create basic. You know what Etsy is?
Yeah, of course.
He's trying to make a Etsy for skateboarding.
That's a great idea.
I mean, I only use him, and he's trying to get brands and everything, but so I just go, that's my store for everything.
So same concept. You go on there, you have your own page.
It really doesn't, it works just like if you have your Spotify, right?
Shopify.
Or Shopify,
Yeah.
sorry. Where he's creating a marketplace, but the orders go to you. You ship the orders.
Interesting. Okay.
But he's trying to create a place where he's like, oh, I want to shop for skateboard stuff. I'll just go to Cellador.
Yeah.
And then you can just kind of look and like shop around.
I like-
Kind of like if you went to a skate shop
Right.
online.
I love that. That's a great idea.
So I just wanted to, he's my homie and I've been working with him with that. So
Okay.
I
Wow.
really try not to be obvious, but I just
No, man,
I
it's-
love you.
you know what, if
I
you-
love you, Matt, and I had to bring it up.
No, if you
if you
didn't
want to
say-
find Slappy Hour shit or my art shit, go to thecellador.com.
Cellardoor.com,
That's awesome.
man.
There
That's
it is.
great.
I did
bro.
it. Can I take a shower here now?
Go for it.
You need to clean yourself
Yeah,
off.
I feel dirty now.
Well, listen, here's some stuff that's
Oh,
available on the
stoked.
9club.com.
Dude, the kids are gonna think I'm so cool now.
Here's a nice new era 9club hat for you.
Ripping.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Here's
Those
a
bad hair days.
Oh yeah.
oh, here's some stickers for your board, bro.
I should have
There
brought you
go.
stickers. I'm gonna
You
put
got
those in here.
Put those in the. I love
them in
inside
here.
pockets, by the way. Can I
Love-
tell you
wish
that?
I had like 4.
You only have 2.
I only have 1.
1.
There's just 1.
So another one there.
It's only a Dickies jacket.
Listen, here's a 9club mug for you. There's your morning coffee.
No, I drink
Oh.
wine out of mugs.
Okay.
There you go.
There's your
better.
There's your morning wine.
Yeah. Not when I go home, though.
And no.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, God. What are you going to...
I'm going to have to drink coffee.
Okay.
Or green tea.
Green tea's great.
I know, but it just doesn't feel like I'm hurting myself. I'm a skater, man. I like abuse one way or another. You know,
I get you 100%. I get you, bro. 9 Club shirt there for you, size large. And here's
for my back pocket, like Hosoi.
That flap in the wind.
Oh, and a sweatshirt,
bro.
Get
9 Club embroidered hoodie. You wear hoodies, right? Hooded sweatshirt for you, bro.
You can never have too many sweatshirts.
Kelly, there's a shirt over here for you as
thank
well.
You. Thank you
know,
very much.
I'm going to use this right now.
You might want to wash that out
Yeah,
first.
I
don't-
He wants to hurt himself. That's right.
There you go. We didn't even get into like the really like dirty shit.
I don't know. Well, you got a family now. I don't know. 13-year-old. Turn this on and find out some stuff.
I didn't talk to you about Sasha's parties and whatever else.
Well, maybe we could save that for round 2 when your daughter's a little older and you've already told her these
Dude,
stories.
they're not going to watch this.
Please tell the Sasha's party story.
I mean, it sounds crazier than it is.
Oh.
We could do a whole episode just on BMC and JJ and Todd.
What's BMC for the people?
Beautiful Men's Club.
Beautiful Men's Club.
Me, Tim Brosh, Jai, Solomon, and Crazy Eddie. Do you guys remember Crazy Eddie
Yeah,
at
he was
all?
incredible.
For one, it wasn't during the partying days, and we were in a elevator. It was like a trade show or something, and out of nowhere, Solomon goes, "Sean Connery was a beautiful man." And then it just started going, "But you're beautiful. No, you're beautiful. No, you're beautiful."
The Beautiful Men's Club.
And it just like, and then that was like when you go on tour or something, and there's like that one thing that clicks. And by the end of the tour, everyone's saying
It's a thing.
It's a thing. By the time we came home, it was a thing. And we just ran with it. Like we ran with it.
I mean, BMC.
Dude, then we came up with a logo. Like my brother, now is my brother-in-law, soon to be ex-brother-in-law. But he was hanging. No.
Okay.
He was hanging out at the time, and he was good on that thing called the computer.
Yeah.
And made a logo, and we just once again we're just like bored. Made zines.
Oh.
From party pictures.
Party zines.
It was all party. It was all party scene. It was like photos, because Jai kind of partied, but he was more like wanted to watch us idiots just go for it. Yeah, and he was just snapping photos.
Sounds like Enjoi ads.
It was before. It was early Enjoi ads, basically, and it was just. I mean, then we had like events where it'd be like we'd make flyers because it was before Instagram or anything.
Yeah.
Like make flyers. Like weenie extra, we called it the weenie extravaganza because we spelt extravaganza wrong, but we caught it and was like, that's the new word. That's a word now. It's extravaganza.
Extravaganza.
And it was all like we had a party. This wasn't the sausage party, but it was all hot dogs, and it said like, come at this time and we're only having hot dogs, different kinds of hot dogs, and no chicks allowed, and all this kind of stuff. And it was just like weenie soup and all this kind of stuff. And next thing you know, Todd Prince taps you on the shoulder and he's got his dick in a bun with mustard on it, and that's light. That's like light for the shit that I witnessed with those guys.
Okay.
Dude, so Crazy Eddie went in a phase where he would let these girls dress him up in their like underwear.
Okay.
And put makeup on them. And we were living at that house, 13th Street, and it was an old Victorian, and it had a really steep pitched roof. I come home from the bar one time, and I go into Eddie's room. Eddie and Jai lived together. They had like this weird room where it was like 3 rooms or whatever. And the girls had already left, and there he is. He's in these fucking black lace underwear with makeup, and I'm just like, I usually liked it. Like I usually kind of got a kick out of all that kind of stuff because I don't really care about anything.
Yeah.
And I was just, but then I was hammered, and I'm just like, who are you? And I'm like, those things need to go. And I go and get a butcher knife out of the kitchen, and I come upstairs, and I'm like, I'm cutting those fucking things off you.
Oh no.
It's like 3:45 in the morning, you know, and he like screams, runs into the bathroom, and I'm like, get me. Somehow I end up getting in, and he ended up opening the window, and I have no idea how he got onto the roof. He's on the roof. I go out and find a way to the roof, and do this thing's like this, old Victorian.
Steep.
And we're like both hammered. Eddie is in lace underwear and makeup, and I'm chasing him with a butcher knife.
Jesus.
Dude.
And I don't know how we didn't fall off, and he ends up getting back into his room, and I end up catching up with him, and I just go, rip. And that was
Sliced it off.
Sliced it off, and then I went to my room.
Jeez.
But it was like that kind of shit all the time.
Just goofing around,
It was just
drunk.
It was just never ending, just debauchery at all times. But it was a lot of fun.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, it sounds like it,
Well,
dude.
welcome to San Jose.
Yeah.
Welcome
Yeah.
And that probably laid the way towards tilt mode.
to. Oh yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah. Well, listen, man.
Well,
This has been fucking amazing.
thanks for having me.
All the stories, the gear. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Yeah, thank
bro.
you very much.
Yeah,
Thanks for
dude.
coming, dude.
Something for you, Kelly.
Thank
There
you.
you
I
go.
appreciate that. It's awesome.
Yeah, dude. Good luck at the art show tomorrow.
Thank you.
I hope you sell. Are you selling stuff there?
Yeah,
Is
I'm
that
selling
I mean,
stuff.
that's the idea of an
Yeah,
art
and it's
show.
going to be up all summer.
Oh, all summer.
Yeah.
Where can people go if they're in LA?
It's in Laguna Beach,
Oh.
and it's at Street Plant Skate Shop.
Street Plant.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
They'd been hitting me up for years, and I finally, like, one day they hit me up, and I looked at all this stuff in my garage. I'm like, yeah, I want this shit out of here.
Someone wants it. Yeah. Sick.
So go check it out. Street Plant.
Street Plant.
Skate Shop in Laguna. Go check out. Buy a piece.
Yes,
Buy a couple pieces.
Jason. Pleasure.
absolutely.
Thank you so
loved
much
it.
for coming by, dude.
No problem.
Next time you're in LA, man, give us a jingle.
Mhm.
You know, come. We have another show, the Nine Club Experience, where we just sit around and talk
perfect.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
talk shit.
Yeah.
I'm good at talking shit.
I know.
Yeah,
Get you on there then. Yes.
Yeah.
Let's go.
We just have a good time.
I'm not up to speed on what everything's going
Oh,
on.
we'll give you a list.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got to do.
I have to do homework.
You got to do homework.
Okay.
Yeah.
Studying, watching video. Okay.
Right.
I got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm down to do that.
But the main thing is just fun. We just sit
Yeah,
around
yeah.
and just, you know.
I love the excuse to get out of, like, I have no complaints being at home, but
Right.
I just get stuck at home.
Yeah. It's
Because
easy.
I work at home, it's just like, I'm like, I haven't left the house.
It is-
right?
it's-
Other than going to the grocery store or Target or picking up Lux from school, I haven't left the house in 4 days.
It's
You
easy
build
to
me
get
a ramp.
stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Domestication.
As long as you got a pale ale and an X-Acto knife.
Yeah, maybe that's why I like so many pale ales. But not too many with that X-Acto knife.
Again,
okay.
dude, thank you, bro.
No, thank you.
Yeah. Much
I
success.
enjoyed it, and thanks for the gear. It's awesome.
Of course, dude.
So hip.
There's more where that came from, man. We'll give you a discount code for the
And
website.
I'm going to put this thing to work after I do my little healthy phase.
After the health.
And they do the
Oh, so the healthy phase is only lasting a few.
Oh,
it's
dude.
a limited
No, I
time
can't.
event.
I can only be good for so long.
What do you foresee? Maybe a month, a week,
Well,
a day,
an
an hour?
Dude, I don't know. I got to go to this wedding. That's a camp out.
Oh, you're definitely not doing
Yeah,
it
that's
there.
not-
And then we're going on my.
Maybe you should wait to start this healthy kick.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just make sure you bring the mug.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I'll get a little chain
Most
and wear
interesting.
it like a chain wallet.
What the fuck is that? It's my fucking wine cup, man. What the fuck you want from me?
I want to film that video part
Yeah,
with Connor.
please do.
And
That'd be amazing.
Finish that project.
Do that.
So that's why I want to just get like
Focused.
I need to do this.
Yeah, man. Let us know when that comes out.
Yeah. I will.
We'll talk about it in the experience.
Yeah, of course, bro.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, when we finish it, maybe that'll be an experience thing I can come to
Yeah.
once again dirty myself where I have to take a shower in your bathroom.
There we go. There we
I
go.
feel so dirty.
What was the website called again?
TheCellarDoor.com.
There you go.
Say it again.
TheCellarDoor.com.
And again.
TheCellarDoor.com.
You're getting dirtier and dirtier.
Feel filthy.
Take a shower, dude.
Yeah.